Okay. I think we're ready. I'm gonna give it just a few more minutes to let people join in before I start. Hello, Jesse. I'm doing okay. I'm just setting everything up. Is the music mic okay? I don't have my headphones. I'm using my laptop to look at the stream chat, and it doesn't have any sound. So I'm not exactly sure if this sounds good, so let me know if the music's too loud or if you can't hear me or anything like that. Okay. Well, hello everybody, it's finally time. It's finally time. Finally ready to talk about Ninjago Dragons Rising. So I can turn off shield mode now, I think. But oh boy, we've got a lot of things to say. I've got a lot of things to say, honestly. And I've also got a lot of art that I want to show you guys as well. Oh boy. So, first things first, I need to say a couple of disclaimers. First of all, we are obviously going to talk about spoilers. There's a lot. It's going to go in depth on a lot of things. So if you don't like spoilers, or if you care about spoilers and haven't seen the show, please go and do that. I do not want to spoil anybody who potentially will come here. That's the last thing I want to do, so that's your spoiler warning. You can watch the show either on Netflix or on YouTube. So go do that if you care about spoilers. If you don't, welcome. Second thing second. For this stream, I am going to only do Aaron and Sora's character headshots. Because I don't really think I have the energy to be able to do every other character. But do know that I have a nice batch of character headshots ready. I have a bit of a disclaimer to say. I personally don't feel that invested in wanting to make headshots for every single new character that comes out for this show. I'm already neck deep in character headshots for regular Ninjago and Minecraft Story Mode, and frankly, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna be on the forefront of my mind. Maybe someday in the far end future, when I finish somehow the headshots for Ninjago and Minecraft Story Mode, and I just happen to be bored, I might do it, but I'm not really that invested. But to make up for that, I do have a lot of extra art. Some of it hasn't been posted yet, and I think there's only 2 things that I've publicly posted because it didn't have spoilers, but there's a lot of art that I've accumulated that I want to show you guys as well. And over time, I think I'll slowly post those online too once spoilers die down and stuff, but you guys will be the first to see it. So, and it goes along with some of the notes that I have on the show as well, so there's that. But anyway, all that said, all that out the way, let me show you guys some of the characters I have set up. So obviously right here we got Lil Aaron for his character headshot. Let me see, we got Sora. Some of these, honestly, were kind of, had to be redone, because either the pose, I didn't like it, or the expression could have been better, but, yeah. There's Sora, little baby Ryu, and Ryu had to go through kind of a change. The way I designed him before, I was working with a low-res PNG, and he looks a little different, but, yeah. He's a cutie, I'll admit it, I'll say it, I'll give it where credit's due. Ryu, he's a keeper. real. So I like Ryu. Older Lloyd. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've made some older versions of the ninja, or older designs of the ninja. And I made Lloyd a headshot just because I wanted to, honestly. I don't know if I'm gonna do Kai and Nia as a headshot as well. I might, but yeah. There's that older Lloyd. It's kind of crazy to think about. He's growing up. So here's Lord Roz. Dude's design. Man, I cannot wait to draw him. I don't know why. I just think he's awesome. But we'll get to him. We'll cross that bridge when we come to him. There's Rapton. I like his personality. He's kind of funny, low-key. Got a couple laughs out of me when I watched the show. Empress Beatrix. I don't know why she reminds me of a character design that looks straight out Arcane, bruh. And I've never watched the show, so. But she's got that unspoken Riz look. There's Wildfire. And honestly, her story is low-key very heartwarming. I just kind of wish we saw a little more of her. I don't know. Dr. LaRoe. She intimidates me, low-key. Like, I think she intimidates me in a way that's like she's crazy, but she's also extremely smart. So, it's kind of like, ah. And then lastly, we got the Magic Man Dorama. I might redesign this headshot. I don't like the pose. It's not growing on me, but yeah. Those are the characters I have so far. That'll make a simple like batch of character headshots. They'll be ready for Instagram, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna work on. Let's go. But besides all that, that's the agenda today. He's a magic man. I will say this, one last thing before I start talking about the show. Spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the show yet, please do so. I know that there's some people that are in different countries and Netflix hasn't added Dragons Rising quite yet. I don't know how that's possible, but you can still watch it, the English versions, on YouTube. So anyway, that's the last warning I'm gonna give. Let's dive right in. So, first things first, I want to know your opinions. What did you guys think of Dragons Rising? What's the general consensus of the show so far? I wonder if I could make a poll or something, because I am using my laptop this time around, so. Actually, maybe I could make a poll. I'm gonna... Hold on. Wait. I want to see if I can do this. I'm terrified to do this because I don't know if the stream's gonna crash if I do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway, so. What are your thoughts on Dragons Rising? Okay. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Okay. Please stream. Don't die on me. The last time I did a poll, it never ended well. But, yeah. Okay, so right now, thoughts so far seem to be on the great range, which isn't bad. Honestly, like, I'm not angry to see that. I don't know if that's alluding you guys to what my actual thoughts are on the show, but... Okay. So, I'm just gonna end the poll, because I'm afraid of the stream crashing. I don't know why, but it seems like great. The show's pretty good. I honestly am not mad about that thing, because in reality, the show actually has a lot of really interesting concepts to it. Kind of surprised me in certain areas, low-key. But then again, it was kind of just a little confusing, all over the place, strange, I don't know. And I'll explain the nitty-gritty in a second. But let me get this eye down. Jeez. To put it simply, I guess to put my thoughts more simply, for this show, it's kind of like, if you're brand spanking new and have never watched old Ninjago, you might find this as a solid watch. But if you are an OG who remembers everything about the old lore and plot, turn off your brain. Because if you try to think about anything for more than 5 seconds, oh boy, yeah. There's a lot of questions, concerns, issues, certain things. And the issue is that it's not that bad. There's easy fixes to this stuff. Most of the time I just feel like it's like little inconsistencies here and there. Things that I feel like you could just easily tweak to make stronger and easier. That's about it. So, but overall, I want to see this show thrive. I want to see these new characters thrive. Especially because I'm a huge sucker for characters, and off the bat, some of these new characters, they have really interesting concepts to them. I'm like, okay, I can follow this. I think it's great. But the way that it was actually handled in the show made me go, well, that's interesting. That's odd. So, anyway. Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll get more answers to the dragon stuff too, as well, because, oh my goodness, that's one of the things that I have in my notes that is like, what? What do you mean, bro? So, anyway, let me open my notes. I got it on my phone. And yes, I am a huge nerd, okay? I take notes on shows that I like and shows that I watch. I'm sorry. That's just something I do. I quite literally got up at 3 a.m. in the morning and watched the entire show on Netflix and finished at 7:30. Don't worry, I got my sleep back, but still, I'm not sure if I should have spent that much time on the show. I'm not sure if it was that worth it. But anyway, so getting into my notes. First things first, this is random, kind of, but I kind of wanted to talk about the theme song. And I honestly had thoughts about the theme song when it first came out, but I didn't say anything because I just didn't have any time. But I have some thoughts about the theme song. What do you guys think about the theme song? How do you feel about it? Is it good? Is it a banger? Is it nah? Dude, what? This eye is driving me nuts. Right. The intro is really short, yeah. Kind of is very stark contrast. So, personally, with the theme song, it's fine. If I heard someone blasting the theme song, like, down the street, I'm fine with that. Like, keep vibing. Do you. That's cool. Low-key, the song isn't offensive in any way that's gonna make me go, turn that garbage off. No, it's a fine song. I think the issue is that, as an OG, it just doesn't hit different. You know what I'm saying? There's like this, it's fine, but it's a little generic. Just a little bit. You want to know what made the Weekend Whip so iconic? If you listen to the lyrics of the song, the entire lyrics of the Weekend Whip is literally about doing spinjitzu, the most iconic move that's unique to this show. But in Dragon's Rising, the theme song is like, we fight, we got the power inside, we're gonna take back the night, or something. Like, just average lyrics that you would normally find in a kid's song. And I'm like, yeah. I don't know, Chief. I feel like you could do just a little better. Maybe, because there's some lyrics that pertain to dragon power. There's some lyrics that pertain to the world's current situation. So I'm like, expound on that. Maybe have the theme song reflect one of the characters' arcs, or maybe all of the characters' arcs to some degree. Do something that is more unique to the show as an identity, because then Dragon's Rising theme song can have something that is, you know, unique to it and something that can stand out. Less genericism. Right. Honestly though, it does keep that little punk rock-esque style to the song. At least they kept that. At least they kept that genre. I'm fine with that. But if you made it just a little bit more unique to the premise of the show, then maybe I'd give a little more added bonus points, because you're trying to be something new, different, unique. And I would respect that. It is still kind of catchy, low-key. Anyway, those were my thoughts on the song. I don't know why. I just had feelings about the song, but I never got to share them, so I was like, I gotta say something. But anyway, let's get into the show, huh? Alright, first things first, I put down on my notes, it's not really a list of pros and cons anymore like I did for the Crystallized stream. This is more or less like a list of questions I had. Because, I don't know, man, this show left me with so many questions, and I'm just wondering if I'm going insane. Like, am I perceiving this show correctly, or is it just weird? So that's most of what my notes actually are. And a lot of, like, plot points that actually interested me. Yeah. So, anyway, let's get into it. The nitty-gritty. And also, I get to show you guys some of the art. So, first things first. Episode 1. The Merge. The first 5 minutes is already establishing the plot. I already made some preemptive art. I think it's pulled up. Yeah. Here it is. Some preemptive art of just Lloyd in an action pose, saving little Aaron. Honestly, this has nothing to do with the show, or any notes on the show. I just wanted to draw an action pose, low-key. But, I like the beginning. I like the intro. I like it. It starts out with a lot of action. It starts out with, Aaron's backstory. We get to know a little more about him. And I'm like, yes, I'm here for this. Let's go. So, and also I just noticed this, but I don't think I've ever drawn the ninja with their masks on. Like, I rarely do it, and I think it's because there's like a limited amount of expressions you can show with the masks on. So I was like, huh, that's weird. I should draw more ninjas with masks on, bruh. I need to do that. So this was fun. This was new and fun in that regard, but already off the bat, let me go back to drawing Aaron here. This was my first question. This was the first question that came to my mind. So they establish each of the main ninja by showing them their powers, right? And trying to save Aaron's family. And they do so. They got Jay in a big mech, they got Cole, they got Zane doing a little ice maneuver. They got Nia doing water, I guess, and drenching Aaron's parents or some... I don't know. But you got all the main ninjas showing off their moves, and this helps for people who are brand new to the franchise and introducing them to the main cast you're gonna get to know, right? Cool, that's clever, that's great. My first question is, you saved Aaron's parents in front of Aaron. So why do you then just drop him off on the street with the parents still on the ship? And why does Aaron say, my parents are still caught up in the storm? I'm like, no, they're not. They're on the ship. Right? What? I was like, that was the first thing that made me raise an eyebrow. I was like, wait, what? And Lloyd is just like, don't worry, kid. We'll find them. And I'm like, what do you mean we'll find them? You just did a whole montage where you were saving them. They're on the ship. And then Lloyd just salutes to Aaron and then takes off into the storm. And I'm like, hey, you still got the parents on the ship, bro? Hey, you still got the parents on the ship? And then the merge happens and everything explodes. I was like, wait, what? I wrote this down in my notes, and then to double check, because, you know, I was watching the show at 3 a.m., so I could be wrong. Perhaps I perceived the show. No, that's what happened. And I was like, what? Why would they do that? And the reason why this is an important deal is because Aaron wondering if his parents are alive and okay is a pinnacle, like it's a very important thing to his character. Wouldn't it be a little confusing that Aaron doesn't, you know, recognize the fact that his parents were rescued? And wouldn't Aaron realize, hey, they were on that ship and the ninja just took off with them? What the heck? Low-key, that was weird. And I personally feel like that scene was for a completely different set of circumstances or something. Like, it's an easy fix to change this. Right. There's an easy fix to change this. All you have to do is save Aaron, then immediately drop him off or bring him onto the ship and have Aaron be like, oh, my parents are still down there. So all the ninja work together to reach his parents. Another thing that you could do so that it's not so easy is that I'm sure Aaron is not the only one in that neighborhood, and I'm sure his parents are not the only one in that neighborhood. Have a scene where half the neighborhood is being lifted into the sky, and the ninja have to multitask in trying to save as many people as possible. And because of that, they can't reach Aaron's parents in time before the merge occurs. So, mid-rescue, that's when the merge happens, causing Aaron to then think, oh man, are they okay? Are my parents okay? Are the ninja okay? I don't know because I didn't see it. Easy fix. Oh, and speaking of merge, I think, hold on. Just making sure that this looks good. Speaking of merge, I have another art. Whoa! I actually finished this yesterday, and I just really wanted to draw them emotions, bruh. But I wanted to draw the emotions of each of the ninja and how they all react to the big merge particle thingy, like, just accumulating. And all of them kind of look back like, oh my gosh, what is that? And it's in mid-rescue, by the way. And it all is, like, happening super fast. By the way, this is random, but have y'all ever seen the movie Interstellar? I don't think so because it is, I think it's a, is it rated R? I'm not sure. Rated R or PG-13? I'm not sure, but it's like a space movie. The soundtrack to that movie fits perfectly with this scenario. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. I drew this piece while listening to the soundtrack, and it kind of fits, low-key. Like, it's got that ethereal vibe and that stressful vibe at the same time, so... But yeah, I can't wait to send this, low-key. I finished this yesterday and was like, oh my gosh, I love the way this looks. But yeah. So there's that piece of artwork. And just that one fix, it's a minor thing. I don't think it's that big of a deal and doesn't take away that much to the story. But we'll talk about it. We're almost there. We'll get to it. Anyway, hold up. I need to get in the zone for a little bit. Focus up. Finish this. Aaron's design is very simple, so if I finish Aaron and Sora on stream before I finish my notes, I might just... I don't know. I'm curious what I'll do. Whoa. Oh, really? Oh, I hope that's the case, Jazzy. I hope that's the case. Okay, okay. Again, I still think that's a small thing. That's fine. Boy, howdy, that confused me. Okay, wow. I do have one little, yeah, that does make a ton more sense. Bruh, I had a whole week to rewatch the show. I mean, I was rewatching it, but it was mostly other episodes, not the first one. But, yeah, there's other points that I have. But... feel free to please correct me on certain things, please, because I want to understand this show as much as I can. I think this is good. But anyway, yeah, this here's another piece of artwork. This kind of goes with the next point that I have in my notes. I drew this little piece. Okay, good. Good. Okay, then yeah, I should have rewatched that episode of Fact Check, but that would have been so weird, wouldn't it? Anyway, I drew this little piece. I forgot to say blood warning, my bad, because Aaron's got that one little scar on his face, and I thought maybe it's because when the merge happened and everything exploded, maybe some debris flew into his face or something and just nicked him in the eye. But I drew this piece, I think, when this one clip dropped of Aaron, just as a little boy. And I low-key felt really sad for him. I don't know, I was just like, oh no, Aaron, don't be sad. I was looking forward to Aaron's character, bruh. For some reason, just, he seemed very compelling to me. Not only that, but all the marketing for this show seemed to point to him the most, I guess. Like, I saw him the most in all of the marketing that I've seen for this show. So I was like, okay, Dragons Rising, I'm gonna be watching him. Can't wait to see what you got. But yeah, the next point that I have is about Aaron's motivations as a character now. Let me ask this. How long do you think the time skip was? I have a theory that it's around, it has to be long enough for Aaron to go from a kid to a teenager. So I'm like, maybe like roughly 5 years. I want to ask this because I honestly don't know how long it's been. I know it's been years, right? So I just was like, I'll give a solid guesstimate and say like 5 years. Okay, so it's been 5 years. That's quite a long time. Oh boy. Okay, give me 1 sec. Trying to finish this up. 5 years. It's been 5 years, and no one's seen the ninja. Aaron hasn't seen his parents. This warrants some concern, or at least I feel like this would warrant some concern from his character. Yet, seemingly, he doesn't seem all that fazed by anything. Like when I drew him here, I kind of drew him being kind of depressed, a little sad. He isn't like that at all in the show, like throughout the entire show. If he is feeling a bit downcast, it's not because he got separated from his parents, and it's not because the world has changed. It probably just because he feels slightly inadequate to something. I don't know. I was like, really? Really? His motivations in the episode too, as he's talking with Sora, he talks about wanting to explore more of the world, and I was like, what? I mean, I get if you'd want to explore the world in hopes you could find the ninja again, maybe in hopes to find your parents again. Why would you want to explore why are you fascinated by this? I don't know why. I think I put myself in the character's shoes all the time in the current situation. I don't know about you, but if I were a child, and, I'm a child, I'm going about my everyday life, I go outside, it's a fresh sunny day, and all of a sudden I look in the sky and it starts tearing itself in two, and then it's so extreme that it causes me to be lifted up off the ground and experience 15 G's. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd be that enthusiastic. And I have a theory for this. I have a theory. Right, that's what I was saying. It could be cope. It could be hard cope. But if that's the case, don't you think there'd be, I don't know, a moment in the episode? I'd want to see a moment in the episode where that coping kind of stops working for a time. Something happens that causes him to be like, I can't take this anymore. Because you can only cope for so long, right? Here's the thing. I would have been down to see that. I would have been down to see an Aaron character arc where he comes to terms with that. Maybe? And, like, okay, similar to how Jay jokes, it covers his trauma. You're right. It could be that similar. But the thing is, and you want to know why I like Skybound? They actually showed a side to him that proves he has a limit, right? He can only cope for so long. And honestly, I feel like, low-key, that's something we could have seen in Aaron. And these are things that help make a more strong protagonist, in my opinion. Just a more interesting protagonist, if anything. You got the blueprint. You got what it takes. But I don't know. I personally am like, I'm not very confident in this show being able to do that in the future. Because in this first season, his first impressions are not very strong. And I'm sorry, but I couldn't help but I rewatched season 1 of the original Ninjago, and it's a bit of a stark contrast in terms of how they introduced all of the characters we've gotten to know and love, right? There's a huge difference. And one of the differences is that the show has like 4 or 5. I know that the main 4 ninjas, Zane, Kai, Cole, Jay, all 4 of them have their own arcs within the season. Like, they got a full-on arc in that season. And that was just the beginning. That was just the tip of the iceberg to their characters and their arcs. So their first impressions were already extremely strong. But in this show, I don't know. I feel like only one of the new characters got a extremely strong through line. And I think you know who I'm talking about. I think you know who it is. Hold on. Whoa, hold up. I just wanted a bit more red. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, this looks good. Whee. Okay, anyway. Jeez. Okay, yeah. Anyway, let me look at my notes again, because I'm losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, I put this down in my notes, but I said Aaron was, quote, excited while the merge was happening. Something about it was excited or something. He says something along those lines, and I was like, bruh. What? Yeah, that just further accentuates, I guess, my point where I'm confused about why Aaron would be that way. So, anyway. So, I think the biggest problem that I have so far is that maybe this is a personal thing, because not everybody's gonna vibe with this, but I think Aaron is one of the hugest, like, letdowns of the show so far. I think I was so invested in this character that the way that they utilized him throughout the actual season felt very underwhelming, and I'm not really sure what I was expecting. I don't want to say that I walked in with high expectations, but I did walk in the show assuming it wasn't going to do the whole focus ninja thing, right? So that means every character is going to have a decent through line to some degree. Every single one. But, only one of them did. And anyway, speaking of one of them, I think I have it down here. Yeah. Here's one of Sora. It's kind of a parallel between these two. As you can see, both the kids have their own stories. And this is Sora. So, I guess I can say my thoughts about Sora as a whole. We'll get into her story once we get to the actual episode. But Sora, Sora, Sora. I want to like you. I really do. Your backstory actually made my jaw hit the floor. I was like, yo, whoa. She has quite the story to tell. That's for sure. First off, child neglect? Question mark? Like, yo. So to summarize her story, basically, she was like the freaking Tony Stark of all the kids in her school in Imperium City. And she could make literal, like, just inventions that no one else could conceive of. And yet, some of the teachers were like, yo, this doesn't fall under the curriculum. But she didn't really care about that. She just cared about being like her idol, Dr. LaRoe, who also helped to invent great things in the town. And I'm over here like, oh, I see where this is going. Have y'all seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2? I mean, I know it's a cringe movie, but it gets my point across. She looked up to Dr. LaRoe, and Dr. LaRoe turned out to have really bad intentions. Is this a commentary on animal cruelty? Oh my gosh, because she's torturing a dragon in order to make the photax, and I'm like, dude, what? Sheesh. So, honestly, that's really heartbreaking. I was depressed about that, low-key. And then, to top it all off, when she goes to her parents for, consolidation about the fact that her mentor is doing these horrible things, her parents are like, you aren't following the laws of Imperium, and you aren't agreeing with this. You are not our daughter. We're gonna literally leave you in your room. We will not speak of you. You will be ostracized from society. We will literally take away your stuff and leave you in an empty room. My goodness. Don't do this, please. The poor kid. And then the merge happens, and boom. She's free. She's able to escape the city. And I was like, dang, bro. That's crazy. So, anyway. I felt so bad. But then a part of me looked at the episode again, and I was like, hang on. I mean, I don't know if this is a valid point, but I want to address this. Does anyone else feel like Sora suffers from a little bit of main character syndrome? Just a little bit, like, not too much where it's unbearable, but I was like, I think this is one of the main problems that I have with the show. She kind of took over the spotlight just a little bit. She had the most in-depth character and through line, yes, but it was at the expense of every other character around her. And I was like, and I mean, come on, guys. Her pink hair isn't hereditary, and she's the only person in the entire city with pink hair. Listen, I don't know if you know this, but usually when you dye your hair, it's trying to, I don't know if she dyed her hair as a kid. Like, that's interesting, first off. But, it basically just says, hey, look at me, there's a lot of attention drawn to her. Maybe she could be adopted. That might explain why her parents are so quick to neglect her, which honestly would be sad. But if that's the case, if she's adopted, you would think the show would maybe say something about that, because that's a very critical thing for her story, if anything. That sounds like information we need to know that the show can't just gloss over. So I don't think so. But yeah, I was just like, okay, the pink hair thing, that's probably not a valid argument. I probably can't bring that into the table, but I can say this. Her character did outshine a lot of the other characters established, and that to me, that kind of hurts. I want to like Sora. She has the great capabilities to be a very likable character, but can she do it alongside everyone else? Can she be cool, and can everyone else be cool alongside her too? Maybe? I don't know. I feel like maybe her dynamic with Aaron could be a little stronger, a little different. And I said this on my Instagram story, and I kind of still feel the same way. But, like, let me say that. You know how Aaron's motivations are kind of strange, right? Little strange for the situation. I don't think you should be that optimistic about the situation you are currently in. What if, and hear me out, what if Aaron's character motivations had something to do with a quest for truth? A personal quest to figure out what happened, you know? Why is the world the way it is? How come the realms merge? And is it possible to maybe put it back to normal? In hopes that I can have closure. In hopes that my parents are out there and alive and okay, you know? Because with a lack of understanding of a current situation, and this usually happens just in trauma in general, but if you don't understand why something happens, the first thing a person's going to do is seek answers to some degree as a coping mechanism. And sometimes answers can be out of reach. It highly depends on the person too, really. But some people can immediately just invest themselves in seeking a reason to understand why things happened the way they did. And I feel like Aaron could definitely be that character. And because Sora, right? Sora is more optimistic about the merge itself, right? The merge is a blessing in disguise to her. It allowed her freedom from the terrible life she was living. If anything, she's not looking back. She's not questioning anything. She is completely fine with how the world is. And because Aaron and Sora would have those clashing beliefs, they would have those clashing viewpoints, there could be some form of tension between the two characters. And over time in the story, perhaps that tension can be resolved to some degree, right? Each character can teach them something that's important for both their characters. Aaron to move forward, like learning to move on, and Sora learning to face the past. Like each character both characters could teach that to each other at some point in the story. I feel like that could be interesting. Oh no, chat error? What? Oh jeez. I don't see an error. Oh boy. I hope nothing bad happens while we're streaming. That would be awful. Right, please let me know if anything, like, happens. I will blame the, freaking poll that I did earlier if the stream is acting goofy. Okay. Okay, good. Yee! That kind of startled me for a sec. Yeah. I lost my train of thought. Uh-oh. No goofy stream. Can't have that. But I think I lost my train of thought, bruh. Let me hold up. Okay, anyway, something about, my gosh, my brain, bro, I'm on the fritz. I also forgot, I forgot water. At some point in the stream, I might have to, like, leave to get some water, because I'm going to be talking a lot. So, anyway, back to my notes. I forgot, I lost my place. Okay, so let me show you guys this. This looks really desaturated, honestly. It's more saturated on DeviantArt. But I did post this on DeviantArt. Honestly, this isn't anything with spoilers, or it doesn't really pertain that much to the plot, but bruh. It's really just kind of showing, I guess, the dynamic between the two characters. It is present in the show. There is an attempt to have Aaron and Sora be close. I kind of see them as like a big sister, little brother kind of dynamic, and it's so wholesome. And also, this was me trying to practice cityscape, landscape art. What do you guys think? Is it good? I'm not very good at backgrounds, so I tried my best. Yeah, the background was hard. It's a lot more saturated on DeviantArt. You can go see it there, and I plan to post this on Instagram as well. But, yeah. Cities. Oh my gosh. But, yeah. I hope that, with what I was saying earlier, Aaron and Sora's, character, the dynamic between the two of them can allow them to get closer over time in the story. And I'm down for that, yo. I'm down. I want some nice characters over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying at this point. But anyway, let's get into shading this bad boy, huh? Thank you guys for the compliments. I do my best, honestly. I kind of want to make more cityscapes because, I don't know why, but the idea of Ninjago City merging with all other cities to make a crossroads, like, big city is so cool to me. And I'm like, yo, this is a perfect excuse to just practice drawing cities. Thank you, Dragons Rising. I will take my opportunity where I see it. So, anyway, let me go back to my notes real quick. Okay, so here's a question I have. And this is just for the show, in general. But, tech power. Let's talk about it, huh? So, yeah, tech elemental powers. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think? I want to know. So far, I've been seeing everyone saying tech power is cool because it's new, and literally that's the only thing that makes it good. And I'm like, huh? It's new and therefore good? Question mark? Okay. Listen, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking the people who wrote this season took one look at Sora's character design and was like, you know what? I think she's the elemental master of technology. And that really does kind of make you question certain things about what that implies. Like, what is considered technology in this universe? Is it anything man-made? Does that mean Sora can manipulate a door? A window? Because that's man-made. Artificially made elements? What? Yo! That just gives me more questions, though. Like, you can create elements now? Since when has that been a thing? And how is that a thing? And how does Sora have this ability? When she... Okay, and I'm thinking, you know, the merge is one of the biggest scapegoats that the show likes to use. For explaining why characters have elemental powers now, even though they have no hereditary attachments to elemental powered people. Like Euphrasia, for example. She's a new character, right? I literally had to look up her name because I completely forgot what it was. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I'm not sure if we'll ever see her again or anything, but sounds like she's a master builder, bruh. I mean, low-key, that's kind of what her powers are. She can manipulate things that are technology to be technology, I guess. Wait, hold up. I just thought of this. If she can manipulate technology to... Wait. My brain. Okay, hold up. So, you know the scene where, she and Aaron are trying to fight the claws or something in a big mech, and they get hit and the mech goes over a bridge, right? You know that scene? And then as soon as Ryu hits Sora with the beam blast, she then, turns the mech into a flying mech. Somehow. Even though it never had the abilities to fly before. It never had the parts to fly before, but she can just manifest the parts to allow it to fly. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I mean, that raises some questions. I'm like, how was she able to do that? This just makes me wonder how broken is her elemental power, because you know how I feel about broken mechanics in fantasy stories. Because then, well, she can do anything at that point. She can literally do anything. And I don't know if this is going to play a crucial role in the story moving forwards. It feels like it is. Maybe, because of the amount of time they spent focused on her. But if that's the case, why didn't her element show up in that one, we're going to talk about it, but the one vision scene in the last episode? You know, when Lloyd absorbs the power of the source dragon. Oh, we're going to talk about that. But when he absorbs the power, he gets a vision and he sees symbols that represent the 6 main ninja. If Sora's element had something to do with the security of the fabric of reality, why didn't it show up then? I don't know. But, oh boy, we're going to talk about that vision scene. Oh boy. That scene, man, it lives rent-free in my mind. Non-stop. Yeah. Sora's powers, I don't know why. But, like, oh boy. Her and then the new character, Wildfire, right? Wildfire is the elemental master of heat? Heat? What does that mean? Do you know what heat is? Like, fire. Y'all know fire, right? Fire. Fire is a visual representation of the chemical reaction of combustion. Now, I ain't no scientist, okay? I'm no Bill Nye the Science Guy, alright? I flubbed science class hard. But in 4th grade, I had to learn about what fire really was for fire safety. And fire, we were told, is comprised of 3 elements. You know, it's comprised of heat, light, and energy, all converging together to create flames. So, explain to me why Wildfire's abilities, if it's heat, produces flames. You know what's an easy fix for this? You could have her powers be something like her hands turn blue, and anything she touches will just, you know, radiate that heat. Simple as that. She doesn't produce, like, flames or anything. It's just, she is the danger. Yo, Breaking Bad reference? I am the danger. But anyway, yeah, just like, it just adds more confusion, I guess. When it really shouldn't, honestly. I feel like there's ways to allow this to exist. But I feel like if her powers was just blue hands, I guess that's not cool, question mark? That's not cool enough. We want really cool stylized flames, you know what I'm saying? Make it look cool, and I'm like, that's fine, but just remember, that coolness is at the expense of all logic. Do you really want that? I don't. Personally, no. I want things to make sense. Right. There needs to be a firm line between fire and heat. And honestly, I think they just did that because they wanted Kai to have somebody to talk about and interact. You know what? It's fine. It's innocent enough. It's cool. I just wish there was a little bit more thought behind that, okay? Yo, I think I'm almost finished with this dude's headshot. It's not even 3 o'clock! I'm curious what I might do after this, but let me see. Okay, so here we go. Let me show you guys this grown-up ninja. Whoa. So I've already posted this on my Instagram, if you follow me there. But, yeah, remember when we said it's been about, like, 5-ish years? Lloyd, he was definitely, like, in his, older teen years. So after 5 years, he's most definitely an adult now. My boy is grown up. So I took this time to kind of practice subtle aging in character design, right? And yes, I gave him a little beard. Honestly, if they didn't make it into an uncomfy joke in the show, I'm down. I'm down for Lloyd to grow some facial hair, okay? But just these, I think these are just like little practice sketches that I made. And here's a side-by-side. Oh, shoot, that's a spoiler. There's Nia. There's Nia as older as well. I kind of modeled her off of her mother. So, it's making me feel old every time. But anyway, there's Nia. Here's Lloyd as older. And I wanted to also say this. If Lloyd was considered the youngest of the ninja team, then that means the rest of the other ninja will look much older than he would. So this is what Lloyd looked like before the merge and then after the time skip. And, you know, it was a really fun experience, and I think this was good practice for me just to be able to capture subtle things to show that there's age in the characters, right? I had his hair be a little longer, a little curlier. He's got more bags under his eyes, and this is important for plot, by the way. Believe it or not. But yeah, and then of course the little beard. So, yee! I'm gonna show off the other ninja at their respective times, but Lloyd Garmadon. Let's talk about him for a little bit, huh? Let me finish this headshot. But Lloyd, oh boy, it's, you know what? I'm gonna just say it outright. It feels exactly like how I feel with Aaron. His character was completely underutilized, and it sucks. I did not like it. And I'm sorry, I can't, I think one of the biggest problems that I had with the show was how they made him act with Master Wu. And all of that jazz. Him wanting to be like Master Wu made absolutely no sense to me, and in isolation for the story makes no sense in general. So think about this. If you're not new to the Ninjago franchise, then of course you know the meme ninja. There's something I never told you. You wouldn't get that, right? But, basically, in the long and the short of it, Master Wu is a really weird guy. He keeps a lot of secrets, and these secrets oftentimes cause the world to end to some degree, his students to take the brunt of most of the consequences that were primarily aimed towards him. It's an issue. Yep. And this secret that Wu has been keeping, oh boy, this is the most secret-y secret, I guess, that he's ever kept from the ninja at all. It bore the most consequences because the merge quite literally changed the fabric of reality. This is different from, oh, there was once a student that I had a long time ago. The Dark Lord is my brother. Oh, This is much different and has carried a lot more negative impacts. So, with that being said, I assumed Lloyd would be angry at Master Wu to some degree. Perhaps he's hesitant to speak of him, you know, like the scenes where he passes by Wu's picture in the monastery. He looks at it with this uncomfy look. He's like, he's my master, so I have to respect him. But at the same time, he does very questionable things that I don't understand. And because of that, I've been separated from my family. Again! And this is different from the situation with Hunted, too. Because Hunted, oh boy. The way they handled Lloyd's emotions with being separated from his family for only a week was so well done. And felt real. But in this show, he's sad for like 5 seconds and then moves on. You've been separated for years, my broski. and you only know that Kai is alive and out there somewhere, but you haven't still seen him for years. He could be danger. Like, he could be in danger. He could be hurt. He could be dead. What? Why are you acting this way? You are acting so gooberish. Why? Yes, Hunted is absolutely goated. And I don't know why people think it's not that great of a season. Because, guys, you know what Hunted did? I think it's like one of the first seasons of the entire show that managed to balance out 2 storylines in one shot. Okay, this is different from Secrets of Forbidden Fujitsu. No, they didn't divide it into 2 chapters. No, they perfectly balanced 2 different storylines at one time. Is that not impressive? I find that impressive. I think that's insane for what it was doing. And it was, the emotional beats in that season was so good. And guess what? It's about dragons too. And Oni. I mean, come on. So, at the end of the day, I can't help but feel like this show, Dragons Rising, it knows what it wants to do to some degree. It knows how it wants the audience to perceive it. But I can't help but feel like you're just missing the beats. And it's not hard to fix it. Takes like 2 steps. Easy fixes, okay? With Lloyd and his character in this show, make him have some kind of problem, you know? Make him have some kind of contempt towards Master Wu, right? But he's hesitant to show it out of respect for his master, which is fine. But have him be the kind of character, right? And watch this. He's gonna be the kind of character that's like, I just wish I knew what was going on, which can parallel Aaron's supposed character of wanting to know more about the merge too. And then there's a more proper, valid, meaningful reason for Aaron to join the fight, right? There's a more meaningful reason for Aaron to get involved in the dangers of becoming a ninja because he and Lloyd have the same goals. And when they saved Ryu, right, that was the only thing the kids wanted to do at the time. Sora saw Ryu in danger and was like, we gotta save that dragon because I have history with people who are trying to capture him. That's fine. But after that, beyond that, there's no need to be involved. Right? Just what's the word? Go home, right? You did your deeds. Bleh. Don't be involved in the dangers because out of any ninja who could warn the kids that being a ninja is not an easy task, it's Lloyd, because he has carried the most trauma from being a ninja. So when he saves the kids, he sees Ryu and is like, this dragon, I recognize this breed, it's a source dragon. Okay, well, I'm gonna take off, I'm gonna go warn his parents, you kids go back home and stay safe. And Aaron's like, whoa, hold up, I wanna come with you. And Lloyd's like, really? Like, show Aaron's passion for wanting to find the truth, and then Sora could be the kind of character that's like a little skeptical, because she's like, hold on. Does this have something to do with Imperium City? Are we going to get, will this bring me back, like, will this tie into Imperium somehow? I don't want any part of that. It could, so I'm nervous. So there's this dynamic between characters, you know? And then Lloyd could be like, he sees Aaron's passion, and he's like, alright kid, you've got guts. Let's see what you got. And then brings them to the monastery. They then save Ryu's family, of course, which we're going to talk about that in a sec, but they go to the mountains where they warn Ryu's family of the claws hunting them down, and bada bing bada boom. Aaron has a chance to prove himself towards Lloyd and prove himself to the dragons, of course, because they have a bond with the humans, and training can begin. Makes sense. Right, that's what I'm saying, Jubilee, that's what I'm saying. And that's what hurts the most, honestly, because I don't want to say I hate this show and it's garbage and no one should watch it, because it has potential, really good potential. It's right there. Just reach it, just grab it. So anyway, hold up. once I finish this, I think I'm gonna go real quick and get some water, because I'm thirsty. I'm talking a little too much. But yeah, I think I finished Aaron's headshot. What do you guys think? I think this looks cute. I've drawn Aaron quite a few times before this, so I had some practice. But yeah, he's cute. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 second. Yes, I'm getting a cold glass of beer, bruh. Give me 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. Let me turn off shield mode. Hey ho! Hey ho, what do you know? You guys were behaving yourselves in chat, right? Got my water. Alright. Let's do it. Let's get it. Alright, I think Aaron is done, so now we can just hop straight to Sora. And Sora's design actually has a little interesting thing that I wondered if anybody would notice. But hold up, let me go back to this drawing, because this one's colored. Does anyone else notice Sora's eyes, by chance? And I'm kind of playing into the writer's hands doing this, but Sora's eyes, as a kid, was just like a simple magenta color. And then, after the merge happened, her eyes get this cool little, like, galaxy-ish, like, colors, like purple, pink, like orange. And I like the idea of it happening because of her long dormant tech powers or something, I guess. Because the tech ability, I guess, allows her to like see whatever she wants to build. So her eyes are gonna have that little effect on them. And I think that's kind of cool. A little bit of a quirky new update to her character. But she never questioned it. I don't think she ever questioned it at the time. She just kind of looked at her eyes and were like, huh, that's weird. Anyway, like most of the characters. Speaking of which, if I had a nickel for every time the characters throughout the entire show said or did something that was contradictory to the plot or whatever they've established, and just went, huh, that's weird, anyway, I would have a lot of nickels. Because it happens quite a lot, and I don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, it makes for comedy, because I've seen so many kids shows do this, where they establish something that's so zany and kooky and someone points it out, and then everyone else kind of looks at each other and they're like, well, that's strange, and then they kind of just go about their day and never question the rest of it, kind of expecting the audience to laugh at that point. And I'm like, That's not that funny, honestly. It's not that funny of a joke. It only works in certain circumstances, and it's a very cheap way to get out of story building, like world building wise, right? It's a very cheap way to do that. Easy outs, if you will. Because if you just make it into a joke, if you make the inconsistencies into a joke, then people will think it's intentional, when it's not. It doesn't make any fundamental sense. So, for example, I've got examples written in my notes, but... Right. Yes! Yes, Jubilee! Yes, no one takes the merge seriously! Real! And this is one of the points that I have in the notes as well. I'm like, I don't think any of the characters take anything that's happening seriously. And I think there's a fundamental, like a core reason for why that might be the case. I have a theory as to why that might be, but I'm gonna get to that in a sec. Hold up. I gotta get in the zone to draw these eyes, man. So anyway, let me look at my notes real quick. Lloyd points out the fact Aaron shouldn't know Spinjitzu, but doesn't question it any further. Here's the thing, I personally don't know how Spinjitzu actually works in the real world. All I know, or all I have been told from previous lore, is that you can learn it. It is a teachable thing. And for some reason the entire show thinks self-taught Spinjitzu isn't something that can exist. And I was like, here's the thing. I don't remember, see ya, thank you for coming. But I don't remember the old show, ever mentioning self-taught Spinjitzu not being a thing. I never thought that was out of the pictures either. I thought you could self-teach yourself with, I guess, if you had the right materials, if you had the right whatever on hand, you could probably teach yourself Spinjitzu. Like, bruh, how do you think the first Spinjitzu master learned it, huh? He was the first Spinjitzu master because, quite literally, he was the first to master Spinjitzu. It's something you have to learn at some point. What do you mean? Oh my gosh, yeah, that one guy, Doubloon. He learned Spinjitzu, and I am pretty confident nobody from the ninja team walked up to him and was like, hey, let me teach you how to do Spinjitzu. Like, you make a point, bruh. But once again, this is a thing. This is one of the things I was talking about, where the characters bring it up, and then they're like, huh, that's weird. Anyway, and just never question it any further or validate it. And I'm like, why? Dude, why? For the jokes? For the funny haha? Is that why? Really? I don't know about that one, Chief. Yeah, I feel like that is what they're doing, low-key. It's a little sad because I want to vouch for this show so hard, and he's blowing it right now. Like, I can't. Okay, hold up. Let me. So, okay, Lloyd's character. I have got a little something about it. I got an idea, and this kind of does something to a specific episode that I really don't like, but we're gonna talk about it in a sec. I'm trying to figure out where the headphones begin and where the bangs begin, bruh. But anyway, remember when I brought up how Lloyd should be somewhat distraught from the events of the merge? He's been separated from his family for the longest he's ever been separated in his life. He met up with Kai at one point, but when they did, these things called merge quakes were happening, right? Which was literally the fabric of reality unfolding in front of them. Like, yo, that's crazy. I don't know why them blasting beams of energy was why they immediately thought of that to try and stop it. Like, really? That's your first go-to? I mean, sure, I guess you were trying something in a panic, but it's kind of odd you did that first time, like the first thing you do. But whatever the case, the world is unfolding, so it's clear the merge is causing them to not feel things. Oh boy. I could see the writers pulling something like that off as damage control or something. Because it's like, oh no, we actually didn't make this show make sense. Quick, we gotta justify it somehow. But anyway, no hate or anything like that. Let me think. So, they close the Mergequake, and they're like, okay, we know our mission. Kai's like, Lloyd, there's only 2 of us right now. You gotta stay here and take care of any Mergequakes that might open up again. I'm gonna use the Destiny's Bounty to go and find help. I'm gonna go and find our friends. Just do that. At that point in the story, I feel like Lloyd should be hesitant to do that, because it's like, wait, hold on. I haven't seen you guys for so long. I don't think I can handle that. I don't even know how long you'd be gone for, and I don't even know what's out there, and I don't know, you could have a sentimental moment between Kai and Lloyd to reestablish their bond, because, you know, if you are new to the show, you haven't seen Possession, so you don't know how strong their bond is. So reestablish it, you know? Show that he's never gonna give up. And he'll come back. He will always come back for his brother. And that would be an emotional beat. Lloyd could be like, alright, I believe you, I trust you. So that's when Kai takes the bounty, he heads off, and Lloyd never sees him again. Yeah. Honestly, I want more character beats like that. You know what I'm saying? I want more emotional character beats, because these things help make the story seem more just interesting. I don't know why. What is it about emotional beats in stories that just hit different? But anyway, let me. Yeah, Lloyd's just been dealing with Mergequakes this whole time, and not once did he then think to himself, Kai hasn't come back at all. He hasn't. You know, he got the new Destiny's Bounty in the basement, right? Maybe the entire time while he's trying to deal with Mergequakes, he's also trying to fix up the new bounty, right? And it's not working, and it's frustrating him. We're gonna kind of pretend Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu didn't exist, and pretend that Lloyd didn't fix a mech with his green power. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen, okay? Because, you know, that would contradict some things. But anyway, regardless, just, you know, show us something. Show us that he's struggling too. And I think that would be interesting as well, because you know how Eren practically idolizes the ninja? I think it would be interesting if Eren saw this side of the ninja, especially one of his favorite ninjas, feel things and be a lot more emotional than Eren is used to seeing. Because the first time he ever saw Lloyd in person, Lloyd was immediately in hero mode and saving the world and doing what he does best. And now, he's kind of distraught. He's more dead focused on trying to fix things, and that doesn't discourage Eren, but it does open his eyes to a bit of reality. And that could be interesting. Yeah, you would think, Jazzy. But again, we're gonna pretend it didn't happen, okay? It's fine. Season 11 was a enigma of a season. We'll just relay it off for now. Let me. Yeah, okay. So anyway, Ryu's beams. Ryu the boy, the man. I actually really liked him. I was skeptical at first. I don't know why. He's a baby dragon. What could I be skeptical about with him? He's cute. I like him. He's like an adorable little puppy. I'm sorry, but I also have a sucker for, like, animal characters. I love him. And Ryu, alright. Ryu deserves the GOAT, in my opinion. Yes, I want to squeeze him. He's just so cute. And not only that, but Ryu is smart, because he actually can comprehend what's going on around him. he actively stood in to defend Sora and Aaron and Lloyd from the matriarch when the matriarch was about to attack them. He understood the situation. And in episode 4, he understood that the Craglings were suffering from the other dragons that were attacking at that one point. So he stepped in and stopped them. Ryu is incredibly smart for his age. Ryu is the GOAT. Alright, I'm gonna say it. I like Chompy still. I think Chompy's still my favorite, my biggest favorite, but Ryu definitely deserves some recognition. He is truly a goated dragon character. So, I love him. I think he's adorable. But you know what I kind of wish I saw a little more? And here we go again. You complaining about stuff. You're never happy. But seriously, I kind of wish we saw more bonding with Ryu and the kids. Because the whole reason Ryu stayed behind from his tribe is, like, the matriarch even said it. She was like, we need to know more about the connection between dragons and humans, and it needs to start somewhere so Ryu can stay with the kids. So I was like, all right, well, if you're literally gonna abandon your tribe, or your not your tribe, your herd. What's the name for like a group of dragons? I freaking know. But if you're gonna leave them, then I need to see some bonding. I need to see some kind of interactions. I want more scenes with, like, Sora just having a conversation with Ryu or something as if he was a person, and he's just responding with little noises. And Sora's just like, you don't understand a word I'm saying, do you? Like, I don't know, I think that would be adorable. And I kind of wanted to draw that too, but there's some drawings that I haven't made quite yet. Actually, I'm curious what's next. Oh, okay, well, there's this little sketch I made here. I think this was going to be like an animation, because these are the keyframes, right? It's just Lloyd, it's like a turnaround. I wanted to do an animation with a character turnaround, but I never had the time to do it, so I just kind of left it there. But this is, I think this is just Lloyd being depressed, and then Aaron kind of just approaches him, and Lloyd's like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, he's trying his best to put on a happy face for the kids, but he's got a lot on his mind. He's tired. I think that's all I have at the moment. Maybe I'll make this an animation at some point. I don't know. I need more time. But I like the idea of also Lloyd being kind of like a dad figure to Aaron and Sora. A little bit, because they don't have their parents. So as much as he is a teacher, he's a teacher in the ways that are also like a family. You know? I feel like that'd be just man, I'm sentimental, man. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah. So let me see. I think that's the end of episode 2. Right? My thoughts over to moving on. Episode 3. Oh boy, I did not like this episode. I hate it. I'm sorry, but the episode just did not hit. Obviously, the episode has that one uncomfy joke with Lloyd trying to be like Master Wu and the whole beard thing. It's not that funny. But the actual emotional, like, the lesson in that episode is very confusing. Like, by confusing, I just mean, like, a little morally questionable. I don't know. I'll get to it in a sec, but hold up. First off, these kids, literally not one episode ago, at least Aaron at that point, was very optimistic, a little too optimistic if you ask me, but very optimistic nonetheless, to begin training as a ninja, right? He's very optimistic about wanting to train as a ninja. That's fine. I mean, whoa, hold up. I just need to look at Sora again. That's fine, sure, have him do that thing. Have the kids want to be excited to do that. And then not 5 seconds later, want to go to a carnival. Excuse me, what? What do you mean you want to go to a carnival? You're in the middle of training! And not only that, but this is training to help save the world. Again, maybe If your character motivations were a little bit more in-depth, then this would be more of an issue, but they're not, so it kind of makes sense that the kids would want to just abandon training immediately. Yeah, Sora didn't like training, but Aaron, he was flying through the course. First time, suspiciously enough. I don't know how that's possible, but do you want to know what his breaking point is? Do you want to know what it is that truly makes him break and officially go, alright, fine, I cave in, I'm going to the carnival? One word, pie. Because he can bake pies and he wanted to bake pies for some competition or something. That's it. That is enough to cause him to abandon training as a ninja, which is one of his, like, biggest dreams. What? Against a French snail? Sora didn't even make a good argument at that part. She just looked at Aaron's pie and was like, yep, that's a first place pie. And Aaron was like, it is, isn't it? Alright, I'm going. I'm like, no, what? Look, Aaron, your character doesn't make sense already. But you had to go and do that? Oi. I understand Sora at least wanting to deflect from being a ninja. If anything, she just doesn't want to have anything to do with potentially running into Imperium again. That's fine. Have her be reluctant to train. Great, whatever. Here's the thing. How I would perceive this episode, because of Lloyd's character, would be very different. And I think I have sketches for this. I don't think I finished any of these, but... oh, yeah, okay. So, first things first. Lloyd's depressed, right? We've already established that. Lloyd is sad. He's not feeling too good. He's separated from his family, and there's a lot on his mind, especially about the safety of the world, right? Makes sense. So, because of this, when he's trying to train the kids in that episode, he's very distant. He's not paying attention. And unfortunately, both Sora and Aaron can't really properly train because of that. They're like messing up, they're tripping up and stuff, and I don't know, Lloyd's just kind of like in another world, and he's not able to focus, and he's like, I'm sorry guys, I can't do this right now. So he just kind of sits down and is taking a moment, and the kids are like, man, what happened to the kid? Like, what happened to the green ninja? That's when Sora is like, I've got an idea. The carnival. We should take Lloyd to the carnival. Make him feel a little better. Because this is a little tradition that Sora and Aaron had way back when they first became friends. And I can totally see the carnival being something Sora brought Aaron to make him feel better when he was sad about being separated from his family. So Aaron's on board. He's like, yes, that's a great idea. So he goes up to Lloyd and is like, hey, we got this thing. We think it'll be good for you. And Lloyd's like, I don't know. Maybe that might be a little distracting. And they're like, it'll be just for one night, please. So, that's when it's like, all right, fine, I'll go. So then, Lloyd, let me see. Lloyd could put on like a disguise. Yeah. Oh man, I should finish this. Loki, this would be cute. But like, I put it in like a selfie style. But have Lloyd wear a disguise. It'll be important for this. But Lloyd can dust off the old fedora outfit he wore back in Skybound, bruh, as a disguise. Because he doesn't want to attract any unwanted attention in the crowds. Because he doesn't know if everyone knows the ninja are alive right now. So he's kind of just like, I'm just putting on a disguise. And the kids are like, yes, let's go. So they bring him to the carnival. They show him, yes, Fedora Lloyd. Let's go. You could call him by an alias. He's Floyd Darnagom or something. But anyways, what's it? Once they bring him to the carnival, they show him all the sights, right? They're like, check out this stand, and check out this, check out that. And at first, Lloyd's looking around, and he's seeing all of the different, he's seeing all the different crowds, he's seeing all the different places. They're obviously references to, like, a lot of the old adventures that he and his friends used to go on. So, unfortunately, as much as their kids are trying their best to help him, it's not working, because this is just reminding him of his friends. So Lloyd's like, guys, I appreciate this, but I don't know if I can do this. So the kids are like, well, you know what will make you cheer you up or something? Let's get you some of that, what the frick was it called? The moss milk ice cream or something? Whatever that ice cream was in the episode. Let's go get you some of that. It always cheers me up. So they're walking there and Lloyd is following them, but then he notices the tent. He notices the tent, and as the kids are trying to get ice cream, they notice Lloyd kind of walks towards it, and they're like, oh no, don't go in there. And that's when Lloyd walks in, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is the last thing I needed to see. It's the memorial of all the other ninja, because right now, as the world currently stands, they all think they're dead. That's the last thing Lloyd needed to see. His heart. So the kids are like, oh shoot, what do we do? And this is the first time, and you could have this, you could do this, where like this is the first time that Lloyd starts to cry. Just a little bit, like just little tears. Like he's not outright bursting into tears, he's just starting to like shed some tears, and Aaron sees this. This is the first time he's ever seen Lloyd cry. And so he's like, no, what do we do? And Sora actually starts to feel bad too. She's like, at first I was like skeptical about Lloyd, but now I'm like, I feel for him. I feel bad, so I want to step in. So she steps by Lloyd and she's like, what's that one thing you guys say? Ninja never quit? I mean, I know the world looks kind of scary right now, but you guys are a symbol of hope, you know? And that hope comes from the fact that you guys never quit. And I'm sure when we get through this, we won't stop till we find your family. And Aaron steps by Lloyd's side too, and he's like, I agree. And Lloyd is like, you kids are good. You're good kids. I think there's another sketch that I made here. Yeah. Just a scene where like they're in the tent and they're just hugging each other. And it's like Lloyd kind of is appreciative of their support, and he's like, you dang good kids, bruh. You good kids. And he's like, yeah, and that invigorates him a little bit. And he's like, you know what? You're right. So he kind of like wipes his tears and is like, thanks, I needed that. And so he's like, what do you say we go get some more of that ice cream you guys were talking about? And they're like, yes. Then that's when the initial plot of the episode continues, where, you know, they're getting ice cream, and all of a sudden that one robot Lobo dude, whatever his name was, gets kidnapped, and then the kids are like, oh no. And Lloyd, they follow the robot, and they're like, what's going on? And whatever that plot was with Creel and needing to go get the one guy fighting the magic man, all of that can happen, right? I want that to happen, honestly. And not only that, but Lloyd could like associate with Creel a little bit, like he can talk to Creel at one point, because Creel likes to make fun of the other kids, right? Yeah, I want to finish this sketch at some point. It would be so cute and emotional. But anyway, I don't know, I thought of the one meme. I don't know if people are on Instagram enough to know this, but there's one meme where it's audio, where Lloyd just walks in and he's like, what's the problem? Why you yelling at him though? yelling. Like, I don't know, he could just walk up and defend the kids from being bullied. And that's when Creel is like, you're a big dude, and okay, I'm not gonna mess with you. Listen, here's the actual reason why I'm doing all this. My friend was kidnapped, please help, the magic man did it. So they're like, alright, guess we're doing that now. And they stop the magic man. And midway stopping the magic man, this is when things start getting really bad. Because when they haven't had true time to train, right? So everything's kind of going crazy. The kids haven't had time to train, and unfortunately there's somehow a big obstacle course in the carnival. It's like, oh my gosh. But I feel like personally the entire time that scene is going on, they can honestly just luck their way through certain situations and discover something new about their abilities. Like, for example, you know, the scene where Aaron is able to transfer spinjitzu to an object. I don't know what that is about, but okay. Sure, do that. Learn, like, he can do that under pressure. Suddenly it just happens, and he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. Those things can happen, and Lloyd can see those things and be like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. You guys have a lot of potential. So, just doing that. The entire next episode is going to be dedicated to a proper training montage, okay? A more proper training montage that isn't dedicated to just the funny haha, you feel me? But speaking of the funny haha, this man Dorama, what does he do again? Does he, like, suck the elemental energy out of people? Or not elemental energy, but, like, they just suck energy out of people and turn them into fireworks? For the funny? I don't have a problem with Dorama's character, honestly. I think he's one of those really charismatic type villains that are really theatrical and whatnot. And that is cool. Honestly, it doesn't distract too much, and it's a little entertaining. So I'll give it where it's due. It plays its part, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. He doesn't overstay his welcome. He's kind of charming. So, yeah. Oh, hello. Real Jesse, you deserve that top hat. Hi, Opaltron. I'm using Clip Studio Paint EX right now. I think that's in the description too, if anyone else is curious of what I'm doing and all that stuff. Lots of really fun extra content that's down there. But anyway, let me think. Let me breathe for a second. Okay, last thing. The lesson of the episode. I felt like the lesson of the episode was really dumb. Lloyd basically just said, wow, he apologized to the kids for being too pushy as a teacher. And obviously in this new rewritten version, that's not gonna happen. But at the same time, too pushy? What do you mean? Listen, first off, Aaron was flying through that obstacle course like it was no problem. Unless 100 or so laps is the easiest, like 100 laps, Aaron was fine. He had enough energy to bake a freaking pie, bro. He was not tired out of his mind. It was only Sora, and really she was just being lax the entire time. So I blame her, honestly. But still, so first of all, you don't even have to apologize, so that's your first mistake. Second, the lesson was like, I forget that this can be fun too, and so you guys are fine for literally abandoning your studies and training of being a ninja because fun. And I'm like, no, that completely undermines the stakes that are at hand in the story. Frick, why did you say that? Because now you're making me think that all this, the merge and saving the world, isn't something that actually needs to be taken that seriously. Yes, you can find joy in the job of being a ninja, but it's not something that you should just immediately look at as a fun experience, bro. This is serious. This is a serious moment. So, instead of all that, I rewrote the episode entirely to where it instead focuses on Lloyd's mental state and his bonding with the kids. Because then, over time in the story, he's going to grow a lot closer to the kids. And this is going to be something that's important to that little Master Wu arc we were talking about a little earlier. It's going to play a very crucial role. I think it's really interesting. I can't wait to get to that, but, yeah, Lloyd is going extremely easy on them. What? What are you saying, bro? What do you mean? I just noticed that, Sora's headphones. I'm not good at headphones, I'm sorry. Her headphones look different from how I drew them in here. I don't care, but anyway. I gotta make them a little more simpler, though. But that's just for my sake, because I'm kind of bad at drawing things that are not human and objects. But anyway, not getting distracted, we gotta move on. I didn't like episode 3. Could have been better. Moving on. Okay, episode 4. this episode starts off, I think after the rewrite of episode 3, you could have them properly training. Right. I was curious about, I'll explain basically my overall thoughts on this show and content moving forward, because I think that'll be important to talk about, but I'll get to that in a sec. Let me think. So, this episode can start with a proper training montage now. And I don't know why, but I also envisioned this cool thing where, Lloyd is, like, gonna properly teach the kids how to go through the obstacle course. And he, like, I don't know, he could put his hair up in a ponytail because it's all long now. And he's just like, watch and learn, kids. And y'all know that one scene from the Mario movie where Peach is just flying through the obstacle course? Just, like, have that. Do a little bit of that. Have some fun. Show Lloyd that he knows the obstacle course. He's done it 100 times. So, show off some of that cool action and have, like, Aaron be like, oh my gosh, Lloyd is so cool. So, do kind of like that. And as they're trying to figure out how to do that, a conversation can then spark about Aaron's spinjitzu. Because, I don't know, Sora could say something like, man, you guys would be a lot better than I would. I'm not very good at parkour. Aaron over here always, like, trains and practices. He does the little spinjitzu thing. And Lloyd is like, yeah, about that. I want to know more about that. Like, tell me, how did you teach yourself? And have, a conversation about it. And Aaron can at first be like, oh, you know, it's not that great. He's got a little bit of confidence issues. But Lloyd is like, no, it's great. You have a lot of heart, I guess. At the heart of it, I feel like learning spinjitzu is all about heart to some degree. And what you do with that power, well, it highly depends on you. And that is a very important lesson that's going to resonate with Aaron's character over time. But for now, Lloyd could just be like, you gotta understand, spinjitzu is a very sacred, it's like a very sacred, moveset. Not everyone can learn it, you know, because not everyone cares enough to try. But you've definitely got heart. And you were able to, like, convert spinjitzu to a literal item. Like, it's very clear that you have a heart to do this. So, point that out. Maybe that's how Aaron managed to teach himself spinjitzu, which is suddenly a mystery, I guess. And that's why it looks so different compared to, you know, traditional spinjitzu. Show that and make Aaron feel a little proud of that. Like, hey, you're right, that's kind of cool. But before they can, you know, finish the conversation, boom! The bounty then flies right in and just, like, skids the side of the monastery. And Lloyd at first sees it in the distance. He's like, what is that? And then all of a sudden it's getting closer. He's like, oh my gosh, get down! So that happens. And Lloyd's like, that's crazy, what happened? And as soon as he sees the bounty, that immediately makes Lloyd, like, sit up. And he's, like, serious. He gets into extreme serious mode. Because the last time he seen the bounty was years ago. And it's suddenly come back, and it's flaming. So he immediately gets into, like, action mode. And he's like, kids, go get, like, a bucket of water or something. I don't know, like, go. I'm gonna go follow the bounty and make sure that no one's on it. And he's mid-chasing it while the kids are going to get, like, supplies to help take out the fire that's on it. And while he's chasing it, he's calling out for Kai's name in hopes that he's still on the ship. He's like, dude, you said you would come back. Where have you been? But he's not responding because he's not on the ship, obviously. But yeah, the whole episode with Lloyd trying to feel better about all of this, it feels like it was for nothing. But nah, Lloyd is feeling a little bit more confident, but he's still worried. It's that worry factor is still there. So he's like, oh my gosh. Honestly, okay, about the Kanan thing, like, guys, this is just me sitting down in my room watching the show and thinking about this stuff. I feel like the show writers can do this for themselves. I want to see the show writers do this for themselves. It's possible. I just am wondering why this isn't the case. That's all. Like, what happened? I do not want to say that it's because the writers don't care and they suck and they're bad people. No, I genuinely think that there's some people in the team for this new show that genuinely want it to thrive. But there is, like, a lack of, I guess, I don't know. There's something lacking, that's for sure. And honestly, maybe if we point out this stuff, maybe the writers can see it and go, oh, and just kind of run with it. Do something with it. That's all I'm asking. I don't think the writers are going to ever see this stream one day. I have no idea. I'm just spitballing ideas, honestly. But there's got to be something. But anyway, back to the episode. I don't think I have any sketches for this. Except for, old Kai and old Nia. I've also posted this, and dude, this post blew up. I don't know why, but like the first 5 minutes of me posting this, it just exploded. And I was like, But I'm happy because this was extremely fun to try. I modeled Kai off of a little bit of his dad and a little bit of his actual voice actor. Vincent Tong, I think. But yeah, I really like that. And he's got the Kai, you know, that hairstyle is still there. It still resonates. Let me see if I can go to the side by side. Side by side. Here we go. The old Kai, his hair is kind of pointing upwards in a different direction. And then the new Kai, his hair kind of flops a little over because it is still getting longer. But it is still the Kai at its essence. Still got that. He's still got the Kai look, I guess. The band-aid on his head is like chipped up a little bit. His eyebrows are like thicker. He's got more of a refined jawline. But that's really it. Yeah, how long has that band-aid been on you, bro? So there's Kai. And then Nia. And I definitely modeled her off of her mom. So, she's so beautiful. Another thing that I said, I think this one is on Instagram too, but like, I was like, what if the voice actors kind of spoke in their normal voices? I went back into the interviews that Brent Miller did with each of the voice actors to hear what their original voice sounded like. They could pull it off. They got like residue of the actual characters in their actual voice, and it would make them sound like they actually aged up a little bit more. Like Sam Vincent's voice, his normal voice would totally work for adult like Lloyd. Same thing for Nia. I think Kai, he doesn't put on a voice, so it will still be the same, but he'd just pitch it if he wanted to. But regardless, them, they're older now, and I want to wait until part 2 comes out to make older Cole and older Jay, because that's a coming. But we gotta know their current situation first before. I like to at least know their situation before, so not quite yet. I also have a folder in here. There's nothing in it, but it just says, and then there's Zane, because Zane doesn't age. Out of all of his friends, out of all the people in this season, bro's gonna still look normal. So, I thought that was kind of funny. But, yeah, just a little thing I thought I would point out there. Nah, Cole ain't dead. Cole lives. Cole lives in all of us. He lives in you, he lives in me. But for real, I don't think Cole would be dead. Please don't kill Cole. Why would you kill Cole? Why? Don't do it. Andrew Francis is doing a pretty good job as Cole anyway, so no need to get rid of him. Unless Andrew can't do it for contractual reasons, I don't know. But anyway, back to the episode. I liked episode 4. Low-key, I thought that was really interesting. I thought the episode was really interesting, and it also showed the effects of the merge on another realm. And I was like, yo, this is interesting. So I think this is the episode with the Craglings and the Realm of Madness. The Craglings actually have like an advanced society now. They can talk. And I'm down. I'm down for this. I liked it a lot. I was like, yo, this is really creative. See, this is what I'm talking about. Finally, the merge actually has an impact. And it makes sense to some degree. We didn't know much of the Realm of Madness anyway, but that's your luck kind of stepping in being like, oh, you are lucky that we don't know much about the Realm of Madness, because then I can't really question if anything makes sense or not. But in isolation, I think it makes sense. Right. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know why I wrote this joke, but like the Craglings having mud be like their food source, and then they started talking about how like the mud also, one certain type of mud holds like the ashes of their ancestors in it. I was like, at first it caught me off guard because I thought they were actually eating one of the Craglings' ashes at one point in the mud, and I was just like, ah yes, gotta love them 5-star grandfather's ashes. In my Cragling mud. I thought that was kind of funny, but obviously that wasn't the case. But I gave myself a laugh. I thought I would share. But either way, I think the one thing that I didn't like about this episode is, once again, the serious factor was kind of taken out. So we meet Nia, right? She's protected the advanced Cragling society for who knows how long, and she's gained trust with them. And upon the other ninja fighting the dragons, thinking that they were doing a good deed, that's when Nia steps in and is like, oh my gosh, who are you? But then she realizes it's Lloyd. And honestly, the way they interacted was kind of cute in the episode. But, you know, again, I want to emphasize you've been separated for years. So I kind of imagine this thing where Nia sees Lloyd and she kind of immediately drops her guard. And at first she's questioning, why are you fighting with the enemy? And Lloyd is like, what? We're not fighting with the enemy. And he tries to explain himself. But as he's explaining, Nia's kind of still trying to understand. She's like processing it in her head really fast. She's trying to understand. And as Lloyd is explaining, that's when she immediately goes in for a hug. And she immediately hugs Lloyd and is like, I haven't seen you in so long. And then Lloyd is like, oh my gosh, same. So then everything kind of just drops at that point. Nia would officially then realize, or at least know, Lloyd would never do anything to potentially harm anyone, obviously. So immediately she's like, stand down, it's okay. Yeah, oh my gosh, the angst. Okay, I wanted to say this, but the one episode with Kai, or not episode, but in the episode, Kai gets blasted, right? And Nia, she sees that and is like, no! And she says outright that she thinks he's dead. I was like, no, bruh. You cannot just say something like that and just, I mean, you see it in her face though. She's distraught. Lloyd is by her side and he's sad too. I'm like, dude. This is especially sad for Lloyd's part because the last time he saw Kai promised he would come back, and now he's dead? What? To their knowledge, he's dead anyway. So, this is some really sad news. Wait, what? Yes, the music is now sad for this moment. I was like, wait, what? I can't really hear my music, honestly, but... anyway. It's a sad moment. Sad time. Let's resonate with this for a little bit. Lloyd is distraught. He realizes, oh my gosh, this whole time Kai promised he'd be back, and Nia herself is like, I want vengeance. Like, that's the first thing on her mind. She's like, I swore revenge, which is why she's extremely hostile towards Lloyd at first when they see each other again. So it makes sense. But then, not 5 seconds later, they hear like Kai running towards them. And he is alive! Oh my gosh! And he's running away from dragons! Oh no! But Nia's first reaction upon seeing this is, Kai, you and the enemy lied to our base! You led the enemy to our base! I'm gonna kill you! I was like, come on, bro. Not again. You dropped emotional beats for the funny. Again! See, this is a problem that Wild Brain Ninjago was struggling with. Come on, man, you're a new show. I expect you to do a little better. You know what you could do instead? It's simple. It's easy. Have Kai running into the kingdom, and he immediately closes the gates, and as soon as he does, everyone is in shock, and they're dropping their cups of mud or something. I don't know. They immediately drop their mud, and he's like, and Nia is like, Kai, you idiot, and immediately, like, grabs onto him and, like, hugs him. Like, she can say he's an idiot because I thought you were dead, not because you led the enemy to our base. Bruh. No, she, like, grabs onto him and is like, I thought you were dead! And that's when Kai's like, I know, I'm sorry, I got blasted someplace else, I have no idea. And his head is kind of, like, hurting, too, because he's like, I don't know where I was sent, because it was crazy. And that's when he sees Lloyd, and they have they're about to share a bit of a moment where Lloyd is like, dude, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you. And that's when the dragons are, like, roaring outside, and he's like, no time to talk, we gotta start the, we gotta, initiate the defenses. I can't talk. Initiate defenses, fire, all of that thing. Once everyone has time to breathe, once the dragons are defeated, once everything is good, and there's nothing hanging over their shoulder, that's when the emotional beats can happen. I want RGB sibling group hug right now. I want it, and I'm obviously going to draw it, but I haven't sketched it yet. But, yeah. So, anyway. Yes, Jazzy, same here. Come on, guys. Oh, this is unrelated just a little bit, but I went and saw Spider-Verse 2 in the theaters. I am not going to spoil anything, obviously, but oh my gosh. This movie is PG. It's for kids, and oh my goodness. I believe Ninjago is capable of reaching those heights of storytelling. I really do. Go see it if you haven't, guys. It is a banger. I was gonna cry. My hands were on my head the entire time. It was a great watch. And I'm over here like, Ninjago can do this too. Honestly, Ninjago can do this too. I wanted to do it too, please. But anyway, episode 4 wasn't too bad by itself in isolation. Fairly good episode. Helped to show Ryu, this side of Ryu, and also it showed a little side of Sora that I was actually intrigued about. Like, she messes up using her powers at one point, and she and Nia is in like a scuffle at one point, and it's dangerous. It's like, oh no! Eventually they're saved, and Sora thinks about this. She feels bad about it. She's like, I can't believe I couldn't control my power. I was like, yo, wait, that's actually interesting. Character? Real? In this place? In this time? Yes, please? But I thought that was interesting. I thought that could be an interesting little emotional beat. But what's missing is some kind of solution to this. And that's what comes in episode 5. Episode 5 doesn't actually give me a solid solution to Sora's feelings about her powers. It really doesn't. In fact, the entire point of episode 5 is to take, quite literally, a massive dump on the Cloud Kingdom as a concept and just make it irrelevant by the theme of write your own destiny, kids. Here's the thing. I didn't like the Cloud Kingdom to begin with, never did. But you just made things worse by bringing the kingdom back like this. Because if you're telling me, if the monks never had actual power to change fate, if you're telling me the entire scene of like Sora and everybody saving the kingdom, and no one wrote anything to help aid in that, then you're telling me in Possession, that one scene where Jay accidentally spills some ink on Dareth's scroll and Dareth gets covered in cement, you're telling me nothing actually happened and Dareth just so happened to get covered in cement and we just cut away to that? Really? You're telling me that the kingdom actually has no real power? Then what was the point? What was the point? I do get coming to this kingdom for maybe knowledge about the merge, because these are people who have a sense of clairvoyance, in a sense. But then, the way that it happened, yeah, free will, that's another thing. This stupid kingdom just kind of invalidates free will of characters. And it tried to fix this by having Sora and Euphrasia fight the monster with no one writing in the process. But that still does damage to the world building as a whole, and I'm like, guys, there's an easy fix for this. Don't come to the Cloud Kingdom. Just quietly retcon it out of existence and learn the same lesson in another realm. There are 16 realms. Go to one of them. What's this? This realm of Lee? I heard there's a realm of Lee that's like a mushroom kingdom. Go crazy with that, man. Do something. Introduce another world. I know you can. And that's really the safest way that I could put it. If you wanted a different approach, this is a different version of the episode, but with a headcanoned rendition of the Cloud Kingdom. And this is something that I personally did for Possession in the past, and I was going to expound upon it at some point in time in one of my content on YouTube, but I was like, I don't got the time, and honestly, it'll come at some point, like, naturally. But I'll just reveal it now. How about, instead of the Cloud Kingdom being a bunch of Riders of Destiny, have them be, I don't know, some kind of off-brand oracles. You know, Greek mythology, these people who are gifted with a sense of the future. Perhaps they could use that gift to then create artifacts that help them to see the future. Like the Sword of Fortune, or whatever what it was called. What was the sword that you could see into the future with? Something like that. These are beings, and they don't even have to be human. They could be some kind of breed of humanoid creatures who can see into present timelines. So, when the merge happened, this freaked the entire kingdom out. They were like, oh, heck no. We can't see anything now. Because all the fates of other realms have collided with Ninjago, so now our clairvoyance is broken. We can't see anything. And we are only guided by the future. So, you know what? We're just gonna do nothing. So when Lloyd and everybody goes to the kingdom, they're like, it's a ghost town. Where is everybody? Yeah, Sword of Sanctuary. There it is. I'm forgetting my Ninjago lore. But anyway, they go to the kingdom, and they're like, where is everybody? And they notice that they're all hiding. And they're like, please, please leave. Your fates are intertwining, or something like that. And it's like, what are you talking about? What? They're like, the fate of the world. It's different. We can't do anything. We have only been guided by future. The future guides us. And if we cannot see it, then we cannot do anything. So they're like, oh, that's strange. But if anything, it's a good thing we came to this kingdom, because they might know something about the merge. Surely they have to. And they're like, we haven't touched the ancient archives of the scrolls in a long time. Mainly because when we tried to, well, the bookworms, or those bookworms, kind of went insane on us. Because they too were corrupted by the strangeness of the merge. So we can't go into the library. So they're like, well, looks like we're gonna fight some worms. Something to allow just the Cloud Kingdom to exist to some degree. But this can't happen in canon, obviously. This rewrite goes with a completely different headcanon that I had about the kingdom. If I had to rewrite Ninjago Dragons Rising where the Cloud Kingdom was still the way it was, I just wouldn't go to the Cloud Kingdom. As simple as that. Unfortunately, that's the best way. That's the best solution I can think of. Just so that I don't do more damage to the world building, if anything. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure about episode 5. Then you got Euphrasia. She comes in and she's like, I was gifted the powers of wind after the merge, somehow. And I'm like, you're telling me the merge now has the ability to affect a person's physical being and gift them an elemental power that they never had? Okay, you know what? Fine, whatever. Sure. That's weird. but we're probably never gonna see her again, is what makes me kind of sad. Because the only reason she had this arc was to kind of parallel Sora's for a time, and I guarantee the only time she will come back is probably for a cameo. And that's about it. So I'm like, no, sorry, she's not that strong of a new character. I wish she was stronger. Had more of an emotional beat, but if anything, just teach Sora about being more connected with her powers through a different means or something. I can't. The elemental power of wind goes to... I mean, here's the thing though. Who's to say that if we can have another elemental power of wind person, then I'm sure there's probably multiple. This does make you then question though... There's probably some guy working a 9-to-5 job who gets the power of wind. I would be down to see that, low-key. But this does make you wonder, I wonder who else has elemental powers. Like, does that mean once the merge happened, you know, let's just say some person who may be evil in the prison could, like, you know, in Cryptarium, maybe they wake up one day and suddenly they have powers. That's dangerous. There's a lot of implications that can come from people, just random people, getting gifted these powers. Which is why I didn't really like the concept to begin with, because that adds a whole slew of problems that really weren't problems to begin with. But here we are. And I don't think the plot itself, the direction it's going, is even going to focus on that either. We ain't going to have no MHA arc where every single character was gifted with some uncanny ability. And we now have to figure out how the world, like, bends around it. No. I'm pretty sure the show isn't going to focus on that. It just gave a person random elemental powers to pertain towards Sora's arc, and that's about it, so... bleh. But anyway, hold up. I need to see what other... like, do I have any other... Oh, yeah, I do, but this comes near, like, the last episode. So, but other than that, you guys want to see some art I did before? This was, part of the art that I posted for the stream, like, little thing. I was practicing, like, a comic-y style, to the characters. And I had so much fun with this, honestly. I was practicing, like, poses, and I was also doing the comic-y style with a brand new brush that I got. So each of the individual characters, here's Aaron, here's Sora, and the little baby Ryu to go alongside that, using her tech powers. And we got Lloyd, Master Lloyd, using his staff. Now the thing is, I kind of want Lloyd to carry around the staff a little bit, because I want him to use the staff as sort of a metaphor for what it means to be a master. Because Lloyd is going to learn this throughout the events of the story. And he kind of needs to redefine the master role, in a sense, because Master Wu didn't do it very well. So, you know, I like the idea of him carrying around that stick for that reason. So, it's the squad, bruh. If only the show was just as hype. But anyway, I think I did a comic-y style, though, because I just got back from watching Across the Spider-Verse. And I was just in love with the comic-y style. It's so good. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, with Wu being a, quote, bad teacher, don't worry. I've got reasons for that. Don't you worry. It's gonna be interesting. But anyway, getting back into the story, and I finished the characters, I think. I finished both characters. Let's get it! But if I finish both characters, then I could just go straight up to another character. Ryu should be fairly easy to do on stream. Whoa! How long has the stream been going, by the way? Oh, 2 hours? I'm not even at 3 hours. 3 hours is like the longest I would ever stream. I gotta do a speed run. I gotta power through this. Okay. Bruh. I'm sorry that this stream is so long, but I have a lot to say. Hold up. I gotta take a little break. Just to drink. Anywho. Oh, I gotta sign these. What am I doing? Well, at least I finished Aaron and Sora, so now I've got thumbnail material for this video. But anyway. Yeah, this stream's pretty long. Good luck to anybody who is gonna watch this stream, like, afterward because they couldn't join. Because it's gonna be a long one. I got lots of thoughts. I talk too much, bruh. But anyway, back to the episode. You know what I want to see? I want to see Sora and Nia have a little conversation, okay? They were both mechanics to some degree, and Nia definitely has, you know, a little expertise in that field. So maybe while they're headed towards the Cloud Kingdom at one point, Sora could just be, like, distraught about the event that happened last episode, and Nia could just, like, knock on a door or something and be like, can I come in? And she's like, I see you working on this thing. It's really cool. I don't know where they are on the bounty, but, like, Sora could just be tinkering or something. And she's like, ooh, this looks really cool. And Sora's like, I don't know. It's busted. And she's like, why is that? And it's like, because it wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough, I guess. And then she starts to rant a little bit about the situation. And Nia's like, no, I get it. I totally get it. If anything, I would know because I had an entire arc about failure. Remember? She completely understands Sora's case. And that's when Nia's like, it's okay to fail. It's completely okay to fail. Actually, it's a part of growing. It's a part of getting better. And Nia was like, I wouldn't trade it for the world if I hadn't learned it sooner, you know? And that kind of resonates with Sora for a little bit, but that'll come into play a little later into the story. Let's draw baby Ryu. I don't know. I need to get a reference image real quick. I'll be right back. Gotta grab a reference image. Just for color, honestly, because I don't think I've made any other sketches of him. But the way that I drew him before, he was a lot thinner. And his scales weren't as, like, big. I made his scales really thin, as you can maybe see up here. But, anyway. Leaked screenshot. Is that in part 2 or something? Because there wasn't actually a scene with Sora and Nia, unfortunately. But, yo, if they get time next season, I'd be down. I'd be down. But, anyway, I just wanted to say that, honestly. I want that. I want Nia and Sora to talk about that a little bit, because I think it would pertain very well. I think it would make sense. So, anywho, back to the show. Episode 6 is when we start to understand Sora a little bit more. I think this is the episode with a lot of the flashbacks. And the thing is about the flashbacks, they're fine. They're good exposition, but they were extremely random. Like, they were in a lot of random places. Like, all of a sudden, it just immediately jumps to a flashback when the kids were, like, fighting a photak, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. I mean, I feel like there could be better ways to put it together, but sure, why not? I'm down for exposition. That's what I want. I want to see that. But upon Mid saving the dragon, that's when Sora sees the photaks, and that immediately makes her go, oh no, I can't believe they got it working, and she's saying things that's making Aaron go, what? What are you talking about? So at that point, once they finish whatever dealing was going on with the dragon and they help it, that's when Aaron is like, alright Sora, talk. How did you know what that thing was? What's going on? And Sora is like, no, I don't want to talk about it. And then that's when there's a moment when Sora is starting to, like, pack up her things really, like, hastily in the monastery. And, you know, there was a moment at first in the actual show where Aaron kind of stops Sora from leaving. Because she is adamant on going to save the dragons or anything. Like, she's adamant on getting rid of that photak. And, Aaron is like, why? Why? What are you doing? You know how Aaron has this arc of he wants to understand everything? He's trying to seek the truth. He and Sora have had this one thing in their relationship that's been stagnant, where it's causing them to have a strain because Sora isn't telling him anything. She's just like, leave it alone, don't question it, don't question me, leave me alone, I'm busy. And that's when Aaron officially snaps. And he's like, that's it. Sora, you have been keeping this from me for 5 years. We have been friends for so long, but it feels like I barely know you. Something, you know, there's like a big thing that happens. And he's like, tell me why? What's going on? And at first there could be like a moment where Sora is extremely reluctant and she's like, no, just leave me alone, back off. I don't need you to get all up in my business. And then that's when Lloyd steps in, the two of them, and is like, guys, break it up. What's going on? And that's when Sora is starting to like break down a little bit because she's tired of them questioning everything. And she's like, just leave me alone. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Yeah, real. But she starts to break down a little bit. And that's when Aaron is like, Sora, I have to know what's going on because how can I be there as your friend? How can I be there as your friend if you won't tell me what's going on? So that's when Sora sits down and she officially shares everything. And she shares, she just shares as much as she can. There's still things that Aaron doesn't know or understand. But I think maybe Sora could come in and just tell Aaron, yeah, my real name is actually Anna. This feels low-key like a Wild style situation from the Lego movie. It could be something like that, where she says that and Aaron is like, huh, I didn't know that. I like that name. I don't know. And at first, Sora is like skeptical about it. But at first, she knows that Aaron is a true friend to her. The only reason why she changed her name is probably because of the fact that she's trying to stay hidden from Imperium. Right? Renaming herself at least would help with that. And just having no connections with her past. But Aaron is a true friend and would never mean her any harm, if anything. So Sora kind of appreciates that. I don't know what the direction of the show is in terms of Sora's name, if they're going to have her go by Anna now, because there is a dragon already named Sora, and that would just make things more confusing. I don't know what their plan is. I think it's if they're just going to go with Sora and then Sora 2, but whatever the case, Aaron just says that because he wants her to understand he gets it. Like, he understands her pain. And he didn't mean to overstep any boundaries with her. He just wanted to know what was going on and hopes he could help find a way to help her. He wants to support her. And right, she named herself off the dragon, but don't y'all know the definition of what Sora means in that language? It means orphan, bruh. Depressing much? Question mark? Like, I don't know, that doesn't feel like a very empowering name to have or to hold on to. I get naming yourself after the dragon, but I don't know. I don't know why I was like, yo, that's kind of sad. And you're just cool with it. You're just cool with that name. Okay. You know what? I'm personally not too crazy about the detail. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. If anything, that made sense when I heard it. So I was like, alright. I feel like they'll stick with Sora. Yeah, they promoted... Yeah, that's what I was saying. They promoted the name, her name, as Sora a lot. So people are probably going to only recognize her as that. Which probably means they'll have to rename the dragon. And you know what? Maybe you could rename the dragon to be Anna. I don't know. Because, if anything, Sora could see that name as something that needs to be protected. Poor little kid Anna was she was taken advantage of. And so was the dragon. So, you know, just have a little moment with that. I don't know what's going to happen next season. I can't say anything for sure. So that's why I haven't made a comment on it or anything like that. But I just kind of left it as is. And I want there to be a moment where Aaron and Sora really define their friendship. And define how much they care about each other. And this is it. This is the moment. This is the moment where Sora shares something that's extremely personal to her. And Aaron kind of sits down and he expresses that he takes it just as seriously as she does. And they hug. You know, and Lloyd is all for this. He is like, yes, character development, let's go. and just bonding. You two are close. Stay close, okay? Don't lose each other's, like, bondness. That is something that needs to be protected. So, anyway, moving on. The episode itself was fine. I think it was pretty good. I had a laugh at the fake names bit with, Lampshade, whatever his name was, whatever Aaron's name was, and then, Lloyd's name was like a reorganized name of his actual name. I forget what it was. It wasn't Floyd, but it was kind of like a riff on the old grandma joke, and I was like, I like that. That was funny. The lampshade floor tile was Aaron's name, but I forget what Lloyd's name was. But it is like, if you rearrange Lloyd's letters in his name, that's what it was. And I was like, that's so clever! But anyway. I don't have much notes on that one, so I'm just going to move on. Episode 7, Wildfire. I think this was the episode that had Wildfire's backstory. Once again, lots of flashbacks at random places. And this one is worse because it's not even, like, asked for. It's just kind of randomly thrown into the scene. There's no incentive to show the audience this flashback. But okay, flashbacks, here we go. More exposition. I kind of really like Wildfire's backstory. I love this idea of a dragon low-key raising her. That's so cute. It reminds me of, like, the premise of Tarzan a little bit. Just a little bit. But she knows how to speak because of the nanny bot that was with her. So, you know, I thought that was super cute. The thing that confuses me, though, is, of course, her elemental power. But that's not really her fault. I feel like that's just a writer's fault, low-key. But if we understood it just a little bit more, other than she will be the danger, like, what does that mean? She's dangerous now? Like, okay, I already knew that because of her personality. But, sure, give her the element of heat to emphasize that dangerous aspect of her or something. I don't know. And honestly, I'm fine with it. I don't have any gripes with her as a character. I vibe. I just kind of wish we saw a little more of her. We know her connection with the dragons. We know her connection with Heatwave. I think that's the name of... I gotta draw him, though. I gotta draw Heatwave. Real. More great friggin' dragon characters. If anything, this show definitely did gift us with that. So I'm happy. But there isn't much notes on this one either, other than stuff you already know. You know, she was raised by dragons. That's kind of cool. Yet another character magically gifted with elemental powers, but I guess I've become numb to it at this point. Like, I've come to accept it. Doyle Gonmadar, there it is. Interesting name, but I laughed at it regardless. Why did the scales look weird? Yeah, she does get along with Kai. I do want to point out, though, that Kai does also point out, hey, there can't be two fire elemental people, or something. He points something like that out to some degree. And once again, the characters are just like, yeah, that is weird. Anyway. And I'm like, stop doing that. Crap. Ah. Please. I beg you. Just... Alright, fine. I literally was sitting in my bed and just watching the show, and when a character was like, wait, that shouldn't be possible, I was like, let me guess, that's weird? Yeah, that is weird. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was starting to call it at this point. I was like, no, this is not something you want. Is the underside of his jaw, like, darker? Or is it the same color? Ah, I'm using a shaded version, so... I wouldn't know. But, anyway, yeah, exactly. Once again, if I had a nickel for every time a character said or did something like that, bruh, I'd have a lot of nickels, because it sure didn't happen twice. Okay. Episode 8, this is when things start getting tiring. Like, for some reason, I started getting bored. when I was watching the show. I think it was starting to feel a little slower. We were getting a lot more character exposition, which is fine, but it was starting to feel too much. There was a lot more characters that were introduced in this, right? I think in this episode we're introduced to like the team of weird random teenagers that live in freaking Imperium that want to be do-gooders or something. Like they want to be the Claws, and Aaron runs into them. What was the point of this interaction? I want to know. I genuinely want to know. Aaron finds out that they want to be Claws, and he's like, oh no, that's bad, and he runs away from them. What was the point? What was the point of running into them then? Yeah, like Ryu gets captured by one of them, but that could have happened at any other point in time. Who are these people? Why did we have to meet them? And why did Aaron spend so much time with these fools? He spent 2 episodes with them, and this is when I emphasized the point of him being sidelined as a big problem in this show. Because, yeah, he was spending way too much time with these random kids and not doing anything. Just trying to teach them spinjitzu, but they never even use spinjitzu after that. They just admire him. And why would Aaron want to be admired? For what? For what reason? He's got a mission. He is on a mission. What is this? This feels distracting. I feel like maybe there could have been something more meaningful with these kids. I don't know. They could be a bunch of kids who want to do the right thing but are too scared to do it, and then Aaron could be like, no, I understand that, because I was the same way. But I can't let that stop me. Something, I don't know. But that still feels random and arbitrary because, okay, you taught a nice lesson to random kids who end up being villains anyway. Just leave, dude. What is the point? I don't know why. I can't even justify their existence because it's still, like, just trivial. Like, I don't get it. Them being bad is fine. It's just their purpose in the overall plot. Other than Percival stealing Ryu, which could have been done at any other point in time by a guard or something. Maybe Aaron might lose, he might lose track of Ryu at some point and then feel really bad about it because he let Ryu get captured. And this could be something interesting as well, though, point out as well. But I'm gonna just move on because we're stream is going on for a while. I gotta stop at some point, but I just want to get to my thoughts and show you guys the rest of the doodles. Here's something that confused me. Cloud Kingdom archives, Imperium, and the monastery are all connected underground through a portal system. What? What? Hey, can anyone explain that to me? Does anyone know what that was? Please? It's a portal system, right? Somehow being operated by the spiritual manifestation of Master Wu, question mark? What was that? So, a ghost shows up, or something, and leads Kai, who's just playing video games in the monastery, and he leads Kai into the basement, but it's not the monastery's basement, it's actually another monastery that's under Imperium, that's also under the Cloud Kingdom archives, that's all connected, and oh boy, I did not like that at all. It was so confusing. I get, maybe if it's a portal system that helps to connect certain places in the entire world to that one specific area, then maybe I could understand that, because how else are you going to get around places, you know what I'm saying, without traveling for days? This could be a very useful tool that the writers can utilize for part 2, but then again, I don't know what's going to happen in part 2, and I don't have very big faith either, so what do I know? For all I know, this could just be a really weird plot convenience thing. And I don't know how to feel about it. So I just didn't really write much down for this part. I was just like, well, that's weird. I was so tempted to just go anyway, but no, I'm better than that. I don't want to stoop down to the level of the show and just not question it because the writers don't want me to. So, yeah. And can anyone else also explain why Zane was in a giant metal egg? It looked like an egg or a pod of some kind. How? How did he get in there? He was in there when the merge happened? What? Why was he in? What? Okay, yep. Yeah, it's... this is my madness arc where I go insane. This is the part of the show where I officially was like, no, they don't really know what they're doing. I think they're just kind of throwing everything together because they need some kind of finale at this point. Again, I've shown in this stream that it's possible to have a lot of interesting concepts, but you have to know what you want to do with them. You can't just have good ideas and then think that you can just go with that. There has to be some form of thought behind it. And this part, it just reeks no thought, just do. And, oh boy, here we go. Okay, we officially made it to the part where we talk about the scene with Kid Lloyd. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna just lay it down to y'all straight. I hate the flashback scene. I'm sorry, but they tried it. That's my thoughts, I guess, on the scene. They genuinely tried to, I guess, pander towards the OGs with this one, and it doesn't even make fundamental sense in isolation. But here we go. Let me explain why this is dumb. First off, everyone's already pointed out he's got green eyes. Normally, I'm not one to stoop down to be angry at a certain plot point because, oh, the designs are different, because that's not always a bad thing. But at this point, I gotta agree. Why are his eyes green? In Sons of Garmadon, we got the reason for that was because his powers were manifesting in his body for a long time, so it started to turn green. That made sense. What's the excuse now? What is the excuse now? His eyes were just always green and we're being gaslit? Nah. Alright, second reason it's dumb. The gi. And again, another thing that I don't really want to point out, but the gi is exactly one-to-one to March of the Oni's gi? Which, how does Kid Lloyd fit in this gi so perfectly? How does adult Lloyd fit into this gi so perfectly? Is it just extremely tight on his body, or is it extremely loose? I don't get it. Where's the physics? Takes me out of the realistic immersion, if you get my drift. And then lastly, the voice is extremely uncanny. People have already said, I really want Jillian to come back to voice Kid Lloyd. She didn't. And, you know, there may be a contractual reason to this, so I'm not super angry about it. Because, you know, some voice actors just simply can't do their roles because they're busy with other things. That's fine. But, gosh, man, pitch Sam's voice up. Make him sound like a kid. He just used his regular voice. I could not unhear Teen Lloyd in this Kid Lloyd's body. It's so uncanny. They did not even try. Yeah, Fedora Lloyd for real. Like part 2, I'm looking at you. And I think to make things worse, they're training out in the middle of nowhere, in the rain, instead of at Gareth's dojo. And I double checked. The entire time Lloyd was a kid, they trained at the dojo. And the dojo was such an important location to Lloyd's training that the ninja literally took time to participate in a crazy race to save it. If you could just go anywhere to train in the middle of the jungle, then what was the point of saving the dojo? You could just go anywhere. No. That takes away kind of the impact that the gift of the dojo was for You could still do the lesson that Lloyd learns in it, which, oh boy, it's still fundamentally stupid, but, you know, the lesson Lloyd learns is about finding inner peace in the chaos or something like that. You could still pull that off at the dojo, just have the other ninja helping out to create a sort of chaotic environment. You don't need to be out in the middle of nowhere in the rain. What, is it because it's, like, dramatic or something? Is it cool? Is that why you did it? Because, I know for a fact that in Crystallized, the only reason you brought back Harumi is because people know her as a villain and because she's cool. And that's the only reason you brought her back, not for actual character reasons. Which is why Crystallized was garbage. So the same thing applies here. It's not well thought out. And furthermore, the lesson of having inner peace? Really? You're telling me this boy learned about inner peace at a young age? Wow, then that just makes Lloyd look ultra stupid for not applying that throughout his entire timeline, throughout the entire show. He didn't exercise inner peace in any way, shape, or form throughout the events of everything throughout the show. Wow, okay. That's fantastic. Yeah, nope, I hated the flashback. It was for a stupid purpose and honestly just didn't have to happen, honestly. Yeah, it was actual pain. No, thank you. Not only that, but this is just an animator's eye. This was my animator eye kind of looking at this. But the scene where Lloyd is looking at the chaos of the battle and he sees the little premonition of Master Wu, that does not look finished. That looks like an unfinished rig that was recolored to be yellow. They didn't even add no effects, no clouds, no nothing to show that it was like a vision of some kind. No, they just took a random unfinished rig. It was so bad. I was like, ain't no way. Ninjago, your animation in this season looks really good. Ain't no way. You just did something like that and thought I wouldn't notice. You know what? Just scrap the whole scene entirely. I don't even want to try to fix it. It's just bad. Don't do it. You are just nostalgia pandering at this point, and I'm sorry, but as an OG, it did not work. What happened? Oh, it was so bad. I hated it. But anyway, Zane was inside some metal egg that was inside Imperium, and what I absolutely despise, there were no hugs. No hugs. Why? Zane is my favorite character if you haven't figured it out yet. And he's got a bond with these guys, doesn't he? As soon as he gets out of this weird metal egg, he should immediately be sad to some degree because his old friends, they look older. Is that not gonna startle him to some degree? They just go, Zane! And then Zane immediately gets into character mode. He's a robot for real! And that's what I hate the most. He may be a robot, but he ain't no robot, if you feel me on that. Can't believe it, dude. Everything was just falling apart in this last finale. I was starting to get bored and angry. And then the last part of the episode made me cringe, which shouldn't happen, because the ninjas came out of, like, the Imperium doors and say they say the catchphrase. They're like, ninja, never quit. You would think this would be something that would make me go, yes, this is an empowering moment. But no, it makes no fundamental sense in isolation, because Aaron is watching this unfold on a random screen, right? And he notices the shaking of the earthquake, and somebody's like, what is that? Is it another mergequake? And he's like, no, it feels like hope, which then prompts the ninja to immediately jump out and say the line, which is, and the line correlates to the theme of the ninja being hope. That makes sense. But here's the thing. No one else heard that. Not even the ninja heard that. How on earth do they have perfect timing? They had extremely perfect timing in that one, and I'm like, why? How? It just feels random. To everyone else who didn't hear Aaron say it feels like hope, it's just the ninja coming out and saying a random catchphrase. And I'm like, that is cringe. I'm sorry, but it is. You tried your best. There's ways to do this. And speaking of ways to do this, let's talk about the finale and get this over with. We're almost done. Almost done. And I can't believe I got like 3 character headshots done on this stream. This is probably the longest stream I've ever done. But I've got lots to say. I'm sorry. Final episode. I did put this in my notes. I said, notice how there is a lot of in-house jokes about how nothing makes sense in the plot. And I've already pointed this out throughout the stream, but you know, it's again the case of, oh, that's weird. Anyway, I really genuinely hope that they don't do this in part 2. They probably will, but I really hope they don't. Writers, if you ever hypothetically see this stream, which I know you won't, please, I implore you, think about what you want to do first, before you do it. Cool? Okay, bye. Anyway, so Zane and Lloyd need to find a larger source of energy to open the portal for the bigger dragons. Somehow they can still fit through the door. That's my first question. I was like, can they even fit in the door? It's not even about having a bigger energy source to get them through. Can they even fit? Yeah, they can fit. It's fine. But whatever. That was like the one thing that was on my mind. So this is where they go into the basement and they find the source dragon, the ultimate source dragon in his cage. This, oh my goodness. Okay, first off, the first thing that came to my mind, firstborn. Bet you guys forgot about her. She's supposedly the mother of all dragons. Except for this one, I guess. Isn't she the reason dragons exist in the first place as a species? Didn't she give birth to every dragon and gifted them their elemental powers? Or at least that's what I assumed from Hunted. Well, okay, there's this now. A dragon who can literally alter reality just by existing. Holy cow. That's totally not concerning on a number of levels for the world building. Totally, it's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Hold up, I'm trying to see what we got here. But yeah. Everything obviously is not fine, but you know, you get my drift. You get my point. I was like, well, that's unfortunate. And you know what makes me extremely sad? This is such a cool idea. A dragon that can alter reality? Crazy. Bye. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. I'm almost finished low-key. I need a break low-key, but yeah, the dragon, kind of crazy, kind of silly. I think they just forget about Hunted entirely. They forgot about Mistake and Crystallize, and now they forgot about Firstborn. Just, why? Why are you forgetting about the most epic seasons, bruh? I'm about to make a case for Hunted, because I know people think it's not that great of a season. I don't know why, but I'm about to, low-key, because of this whole show, I'm about to say some words. But anyway, what catches me off guard and what makes me immediately sit up in my seat when I'm watching the show is the vision. Oh my goodness. That scene. Okay, hold up. I think I have, wait, no. Here it is. I had it pulled up. Look at this. I made this, whoa. Hello. I'm gonna post this definitely, probably after the stream or something, but I made this after watching the scene because, oh my goodness, this made me sit up in my seat and go, I think the show actually knows where it wants to go in terms of narrative. It was crazy. The scene with all the headstones with the ninja masks completely caught me off guard. Reality shattering before Lloyd's eyes. Seeing this strange dragon shooting Lloyd, the symbolism and everything. I was like, whoa. Okay, Ninjago, it suddenly got interesting again. Like, it was boring at first and I was mad, but now I'm like, oh, wow. I am still questioning, though, the source dragons and their existence. That ain't gonna go unchecked, but still, this right here. Bro. So, anyway, completely caught me by surprise. And of course, left me with a bit of a question. Yeah, that's a good question, Rain, honestly, because water and wind apparently is one of those strange elements that really shouldn't have any connection. But to me, I just thought maybe there's a symbolism of the elements there because they it's just trying to show the audience, hey, the main 6 ninja, they have something to do with the fabric of reality being safe and whatnot. It's just that. I don't think it has anything to do with, like, I don't know, maybe it's just basic foreshadowing skills. I'm not sure, but this is where the intrigue for part 2 comes in, where it's like, I gotta know. Now I gotta watch part 2 in order to get closure for this. But just know that scene still lives rent-free in my mind. Has anyone seen this one funny video of like a cat, and like there's a person who puts a flower on the top of the cat's head, and it just starts to like ascend? I don't know why, I immediately thought of that video, and I kind of want to post it as like a meme or something on Instagram, just to show you guys what I'm talking about. Lloyd just like ascends. The prophecy is true. That's exactly what I thought of. I don't know why, I gave myself a good laugh there. But yeah, that's about it. Lloyd opens the door with the powers, and he's passed out for a long time, which kind of freaks me out, low-key. But I would love to animate it, but I don't think I have the skill to do that just yet. But I do want to make like just a spoof video or something at some point. But anyway, they open the door, they get all the dragons out, everything's gravy. So there seems to be a bigger plot in the background that Roz is aware of with the source dragons, but Beatrix is only concerned about maintaining her image as the Empress, or at least that was what I got from it. I don't know what's going on with her, but yeah, Roz was also a bit of a letdown of a character. I barely got to talk about him, bruh. But boy, howdy gee. Okay, speaking of Roz, I can finally talk about this doodle. So let me open this. First off, Aaron barely got a cool character payoff. We saw Sora have her character payoff through several instances in the show, but Aaron never really got one. So I wanted to give him one. I call this the spin kick parallel. I made it into a comic because I didn't really want to draw it out or like shade it. But basically, this takes place in the first episode when Aaron sees this big dude, Roz. He gives off this extremely dangerous vibe. He's super scary, and Aaron at first is like, I got this, I'm gonna take him down. And they're like, hey, wait, no. And he tries to go in for a spin kick, and Roz immediately grabs him by the foot. And Aaron is like, oh gosh, oh crap. and literally Roz gives him this look, a blood-curdling look that's like, you're gonna die. He like twists his foot or something and slams him into the ground, and that causes him to be knocked out for, long enough for the kids to get arrested. So after that, they don't interact throughout the entire season, I don't believe. So I can imagine Aaron growing this big fear of Roz, because he's a big dude, and he is the perfect antithesis to his character of wanting to find the truth. Because Roz, well, he's a villain, and he's like, no, I'm gonna stop you. I'm not gonna let some kid stand in my way. So now, this takes place in the last episode when Roz steps in, and this makes Aaron at first, he's like, oh geez, it's Roz. That guy beat me to a pulp, and he does it again. He beats up Sora and knocks her to the ground, and then Roz comes up to Aaron and is like, you kids have no idea what you're doing. Don't tamper with things you don't understand. And he beats Aaron up to a pulp or something. As you can see, I gave him like a black eye, and he's like bleeding from the nose. I don't expect blood in the show, obviously, but it's just to show that he's getting beat up. But after all the events in the season, after all the events that have taken place, Aaron is like, no, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna back down. I'm not afraid of you. You're gonna have to do better than that to stop me. And that's what Roz is like, you're a fool. And then he re-emphasizes, I'm a ninja. And then, ninja never quit. And he's not gonna quit till he finds the answers. And he does another spin kick. And he gets Roz on the ground at some point in their battle. He is a lot more agile than he was in the first episode because of his training with Lloyd. But yeah, he's like dodging bullets, and then eventually he jumps up and he gives Roz a solid kick to the face. And this time, Roz is the one who's like, oh crap, oh no. Give him a big bop him right in the nose. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a nice little comic that I thought about. But at this point, after all of that happens, Roz is kind of like a little humbled after that. He's like, these kids are actually a worthy adversary. We gotta... This prompts him to then go to the Empress, and it's like, yo, we gotta do something, and we gotta do it quick. But, I don't know. I think he might be from Chima. and I would be down if that was the case. I low-key grew up with Chima. So, I'd be down if he was actually from Chima. And Chima is a canon universe. I don't think Chima is that good. I remember rewatching it at one point, but still, I think it would be nice. Okay. We're through all the notes. Sheesh. Finished 3 character headshots. Let me look at... Yeah. We're about to hit the 3-hour mark. That's crazy. Thank you guys for sticking around for so long. I kind of want to summarize my thoughts and then be on my way. But... oh, I forgot to add, like, blur to this. But thank you guys for hearing me talk for, like, 3 hours. I'm sorry. Honestly, I feel like I have to apologize low-key. Because I don't like talking that much. I don't know why I'm insecure about that, but... This was fun. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed talking about my thoughts. So, to summarize my overall thoughts on the show, it's not that great in reality. A lot of people, I think, are overhyping it just a little too much. But I can see where they're coming from. Because there are a lot of concepts that, once again, I've established. There are a lot of concepts that can work. And low-key, I made myself more invested in these characters than the actual show did. And I'm not meaning that as a diss towards the writers or anything like that, but that just proves my point, I guess, a little bit. That there needs to be a little more care towards the characters. Just a little bit. A little more care towards the characters, and a little more care towards the plot. I feel like the characters and plot weren't that great because it didn't take itself seriously. And I don't like the argument of, oh, well, it's a kid's show, it's not supposed to be taken serious, because I'm gonna point to Spider-Verse again. Because Spider-Verse is rated PG, and it's supposed to be a, quote, kid's movie. But dang, it don't feel like it. Because the show, and if anything, the movie itself, and the people who made it, understood the assignment, and then was like, what if we did it better? So, there was a huge amount of care that was put into that movie, and there was a huge amount of care that they put into, I guess, the story overall. They wanted it to succeed, and they wanted it to be different than what people are normally used to when it comes to kids' movies. Which I think is what made it age really well. So, overall, I believe Ninjago is capable of doing that. I care about the show a little too much. So, I want to see the show thrive. I want to see Dragons Rising be a banger. I want to see it. So, yes, I have actually seen the second one. It is mind-blowing. I said this earlier in the stream too, but please, if you haven't seen the movie, the second movie, go do it. It is worth the money. It is worth the watch. Do it. Yeah, exactly. That's why Sons of Garnon hits so different, man. That season, the writers definitely wanted to take it differently. They made changes, but those were good changes. It wasn't changes that was detrimental. I loved it. It was great. So, overall, I believe that this show has the potential to do that too. So I'm not going to go out around town saying, don't watch the show, it's garbage, it's bad. But I am also not going to deny the facts. And the facts are, the show ain't that great, but it can be awesome. Okay, as you plainly see. Do I have any more? Oh, there's one more doodle. There's one more doodle. It's a little comic, I think. Let me rearrange this a little bit. It's a comic. One more little treat for you guys. The amount of art that I've accumulated for this show, though, it's kind of crazy. But good lord. So this is a conversation that I wanted Lloyd to have with Aaron at some point, maybe at the last episode or something. And this is like a revelation that Lloyd can come to at some point. He admires Aaron's, heart. And this is after he gets the vision, right? After he gets the vision and he wakes up, a few days later, he is shook, alright? He just saw the fabric of reality unfolding. It has something to do with the main ninja. It has something to do with all that. He kind of walks out of the monastery then with, a somber face, kind of what just happened? Everyone's happy to see him, of course. They give him his hugs, and it's great, but Lloyd is also kind of taken aback. He's kind of scared. So, he sees Aaron. He's, chill. He's trying to calm down with the kids. He's like, yeah, it's good. And he starts talking about Aaron. He starts talking about how he's got a lot of heart. And that's good, but... And he says, I sometimes worry that you might get hurt somewhere along the lines. And you know I wouldn't want that for you. He's grown a close bond with these kids, and now, upon seeing that vision, he's kind of worried that he's putting them in danger or something. Like, you know, obviously the trials of being a ninja is going to involve some form of danger. And even Aaron is aware of that. He hears this and he's like, yeah, I get it. You were right. There's a lot more going on with this than I realized. A lot of it does kind of freak me out. There are some things that I don't understand yet. And Roz is a perfect example of, you know, people that might want to beat you down because you don't understand certain aspects. But his mind hasn't changed, and if anything, he's just going to keep on fighting. Because that's what ninjas do. They never give up. He's come too far to give up now, and that's when Lloyd kind of looks down. He looks down at Aaron, he's like, yeah, I think you're going to be a good ninja. But even as he says this, even as he admires Aaron's bravado, is that the word? I don't know. He admires it, and he's like, I'm still worried about you, though. And this is where I was talking about the whole Master Wu thing. He then looks at Master Wu's portrait, and he suddenly realizes something. And this is probably going to come, like, maybe in part 2, depending on how they handle this. I don't know. They probably won't handle it well, but he sees the poster, and he's like, I get it. I get why Master Wu was holding this back from us. Because he was trying to protect us. The world's colliding, the world's ending. It's a lot. And I think he was just trying to look out for us. While I don't agree with his methods, I myself have seen the end of the world in a vision. I myself see what the kids could end up being exposed to. And that's the last thing I want. So, maybe, somewhere in part 2, he is going to have to figure out a way to do better and be both. He wants to protect the kids, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be like Master Wu, where he keeps secrets from the kids. Maybe he might end up, there might be an arc or something where he I don't know, keeps a secret from Aaron, and there could be a parallel, where Aaron's like, what? You knew about this? Why didn't you tell me? And Lloyd is like, I was trying to protect you or something. And that's when he's like, you're no better than Master Wu or something. I don't know. Just a thought. A little thought for part 2. But anyway, I think I've finished all my thoughts now. Oh boy. We got 3 character headshots done in this stream, and I am dead tired, and I kind of need to eat dinner at some point. So, thank you guys for tuning in to the stream. I had a lot of fun, honestly. I'm gonna sign off for the night, or day. I don't know, it's like midday. I'm gonna save all of these too. And at some point, I'm also gonna post these on Instagram. Some of these might only be on Instagram, so if you haven't followed me there, feel free to, shameless plug. But, yeah. Most of the comics will be posted there at some point. And they will also have context, don't you worry, for people who were there. But yeah, thank you for coming, everybody. I'm gonna sign off now, so bye, everybody.